What's up? What's up? Figured I'd just do a late night chill. We'll watch some replays of some casted games. React to them, you know. See what we got cooking. Some pro cheese. We'll start in a sec. Cheers. All right. Let's check it out. This one is Scarlet versus Showtime. We're gonna look at some cheese. Just have some chill for once. You get to just chill. Looking at StarCraft. Oh, man. Been battling a mosquito. He's out there. I tried to get him earlier, but it's too small. He hides well. Alright, let's check it out.
My name is Loco, and welcome to a best of 3 series of top level StarCraft 2. What I've got for you today is a Zerg versus Protoss, where in game number 1 on a map called Ultra Love, we're playing right here with the blue Zergs from Canada. We're looking inside of the main base of Scarlet. Their opponent in this series, playing with the red Protoss Probes from Germany, we have Showtime. By the way, it's not Ultra Love.
You got Protoss.
I saw the LEDs going around the base, and I thought this is. But then I
Tokamake.
realized there's no LEDs that are bright and colorful on the
go,
other
go,
screen.
go.
Okay. Now this particular series is from the RSL, a brand new StarCraft 2 tournament. I believe actually this particular match was played maybe a month and a half or so ago. They decided to run this tournament over the course of, well, quite a few weeks. And
there goes the drone, getting a good scout. The drone's
day.
going out a little early. You normally don't see a drone come out because unless they're doing something cheesy, the drone usually doesn't come out. Look at the other drone. Scarlet's waiting for the drone right there for the probe to come through. So, whoop.
On another high, and it looks like, oh jeez, oh, okay. Well, it looked like we were oh yeah, no, we wanted to go proxy.
So, let's see here. So basically, what was it? Scarlet was gonna take the hatchery. Usually they like to hide the drones back here and make a hatchery when the probe comes through, but a lot of people might go and, you know, check a little bit further in to see if it's there. So Scarlet hides the drone over here so we can sneak by and make the hatchery. Some Protosses will make a pylon as they go up anyways and then cancel it if they need to, but that's if you want to waste a little bit of resources. So Showtime's saying no, we ain't gonna do that. But we know that it's a hatch. It's not a hatch first. Hatch would be up by now. So if it's not a hatch first, it's a delayed hatch. So it's either somewhere else, the third, or here, or we got a pool. But based on the pool, if it was a pool first, a 12 pool, the lings would already come out, and they'll be just about coming out. You'll see 3 cocoons coming out, and you know it's gonna be the lings. But you also go in to just check, confirm. If it's a 14 pool, the lings come a little bit later. The pool's almost 3/4 of the way up. 16 pool, it's about halfway, a quarter, halfway up, and you have plenty of time to do something. So really depends on this case. So here, no hatchery. Go up the ramp. No cocoons, right? Little details. And with no cocoons, that means that it's not enough information. It's going to be drones at the moment. And where's the hatchery? Question mark, right? So we go up here to check if there is a pool. If there isn't a pool, then that means that there's a hatchery somewhere. If there isn't a pool.
Peaking, like SME casting this, a lot of the players, especially the ones competing in the.
So there you go. There you have it. You know, because timing, if you know timings, you can understand what they should have, what they might have. So, like I said, go up here. If it was a 12 pool, lings would already be, you know, coming out. But because that didn't happen and there's no hatchery, it's not a hatchery first. So there's no pool. There's no hatchery right here, so it's a little delayed. So it's somewhere. Was it Showtime? Showtime still has to confirm.
EWC, like for example Showtime, they are currently on another high, and it looks like, oh geez,
Scarlet wanted to block the base for a little bit. Ooh.
Yeah, no, we wanted to go proxy hatch. Scarlet.
I try not to get to the center. All you gotta do is get half of it. So this area right here would be like where I would want to take it. So I would go over here and then get them over here, because I can still kind of block this area, but then boom, make a right and try to do it right here. As long as the hatchery's blocking partial, the Nexus is not gonna go up. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't really try to go for the center. There's no point in going for the center. Not in this situation.
Wanted to go natural into. That's not blocking anything.
No, we're off a little bit.
I'm about 99.
Yeah, we're off a little bit, but at the same time, it's already done, right? What are we gonna do? Cancel it and lose 75 resources? No, that's not gonna be conservative. The only question is we didn't really go gas, but we did go drones, and we did lay pool, but we don't need the pool just yet unless we're going roaches. So if we're going pool after the hatchery, the pool comes out still, you know, before our hatchery, because hatchery takes longer, right? So the pool could be, you know, you could start the pool around this area of the hatchery and you're still going to get it at the same time. But are lings really going to do a good job? Not too often. So you got to be careful. What I do like about this, when you make a hatchery here, Protosses tend to get a forge. And so what I end up doing is I get spine crawlers in the back, because spine crawlers are better than lings, and try to get a queen. You can get a couple lings just to keep them backed off, but you could do a better job with spine crawler, because what happens is the cannons get made and they kill the hatchery, but the creep gets made and you can make a couple spine crawlers, and the spine crawlers are just to delay the base from mining a little bit longer. You can't really do too much. If you can get the queen out and then pop a creep tumor, then you can keep the creep tumors on the spine crawlers a little bit longer. But in these situations, when you get a hatchery block against a Protoss, spine crawlers in the back tend to be fun to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But yeah,
I'm about
that sucks.
99% certain that Nexus is not gonna be blocked. I like that Showtime here didn't even go Cybercore first. The norm is to go for a Nexus into a Cybercore if you know that it's safe. If you think you are maybe in some trouble, you go Cybercore into...
That's the scout. So you always got to scout, right? And the probe scouted. Showtime scouted. That's the whole purpose of probe scouting. You send a probe out. You look for a hatchery. There is no hatchery at the natural. You go to the main, check for a pool. There's no pool. Okay, there's no pool. That means the Zerg's getting greedy. I can get a Nexus and then Cybernetics Core, because you could either go for a very greedy opener, which is Nexus first, right? Nexus first is a very greedy, expand. After the Nexus first, it's the gateway, then Nexus, right? This is mid greed. And then casual greed, like just to take a fast expand but reasonable, you go for a Cybernetics Core into a Nexus. So Nexus first, very greedy. Gateway Nexus, greedy enough as long as you know you're safe about it. Cybernetics Core Nexus, if you're not sure and you're kind of like uncomfortable, or you're doing a timing attack, which is like a warp gate timing attack. If you go to Cyb Nexus, you get an expo, but you also get that Cyb timing up, and you can chrono boost whatever warp gate timing you're gonna do, a 2-gate adept, or whatever it is. So you have a couple pieces that if you're trying to be optimal or macro focus, those are the branches pretty much to go whichever route you're thinking of, which road you're going to end up going towards. It's not too big of a difference, but in the higher level, worker counts matter. And so a Nexus before Cybernetics Core means you get chrono boost longer, you get more pros faster, and then you can get your third quicker. So at the higher level, this is if you can get away with a Nexus before Cyb, which a lot of players do, you're good to go. What up, Neil? What up, ARCCA's Chicken Gun? What up? Alright.
Nexus.
Let's check out what happens.
So Showtime looking at this, by building the Nexus before the Cybercore, he's basically screaming at Scarlet like, yo, I really don't care. Whatever you're building in my natural, I really don't care. Well, maybe he should care, because this could get very messy. Obviously, though, Scarlet doesn't yet have a spawning pool. Maybe she's just looking to be best friends. And what better way than building your house right next to the house of your neighbors, right? Like, what better way to become friends than this? You could knock on the walls, say hello to each other in the morning.
Oh, it's Tax Cut. What up, Tax Cut? How you doing?
The kids can play together.
How's life treating you? I streamed a little early for you guys. Some of you guys, in different time zones.
StarCraft 2, the sky is the limit. Now, there's no space for that adept to go in between the two structures, but...
Ooh, make a drone!
Killing?
Ooh. Oh, make some
or at
things.
least attempting to kill the Zergling.
Yep. A queen is
really nice.
very important. The earlier the better.
A ton of additional armor. So
yeah, you see how the adept is there? You can't do too much with Lings.
Scarlet purposely waiting there for a little while. Just to try
they just get killed quick.
There as possible.
Oh, no.
I don't know what this is going to achieve. If I'm being honest with you, I think it's going to achieve very little. It's just going to make the Nexus dirty. But other than that, I don't really think...
We see the Stargate, though.
Showtime already.
Right, we see it already. But we're already late. Scarlet's a bit behind a little bit. But Scarlet did go for a fast expand. So we went for a fast expand. And for this is supposed to delay so that Scarlet could drone. But It's not really doing too much, but we did get some scout. We know it's going to be Oracle. And we're still going for a 3 base, which, you know, Zerg is still in good shape. I mean, Scarlet's over here making drones, I mean, overlords for supply with the hatchery. So we're taking advantage of the larva in ways of, even if it's not units. It's like, yoink, get an overlord here. Don't have to make it at the main base. More drones.
Not bad. I mean, Link Speed will eventually finish, but Scarlet is going to have to kill quite a few drones to really justify
Yeah, it's like
this.
4 in the morning, huh?
Obviously, she's making quite a few links now, too, that could have been drones on the other side of the map. I guess the creep here is going to make it impossible to, wall this in for now, but we've seen Protoss players over the years do perfectly fine without a door as it is.
It'll take a little while.
I think this is totally fine. Yeah, I think
He'll
this
get
is
there.
Totally fine right here for Showtime. Scarlet effectively donating about, maybe 400 or so minerals worth to, well, do very little.
Oh my goodness.
There are more Zerglings coming
Thanks.
now. So there was a cancel earlier. The Adepts are still at home, though. There should be a second Oracle. There it is.
Here goes the
I mean,
Oracle.
those 4 lings are not going to achieve anything.
And then the
Showtime
Nexus.
even building up a 3rd Nexus during all of this. I really love the way that Showtime is dealing.
Like Showtime, we have a Zerg that took a, made a hatchery that didn't really do too much damage overall. But that 300 resources is more important for the Zerg to have at the main. So because of that, we could get a Nexus a little bit earlier because we know that the gas was delayed. We know that the hatchery was delayed. It's not a natural macro build, so the drones are not as much. So, and then 2 oracles could definitely hold anything at the moment that would regard a roach rush or, lings or ravagers, So, I mean, yeah, Showtime's doing the right thing. Overall, a smart move, taking that expo quicker.
With this, if I'm being honest, it's very easy to panic in these type of scenarios. Look at the probe micro here too. Lovely, lovely control. Yeah, perfectly managed here by our German player.
Well, yeah, Scarlet tried to block the expo for the Protoss because the Protoss always gets that base, goes scouts, takes the base, and we were off a little bit. But yeah, that was just the intention, just slow down the Protoss Nexus, and keep it up. Make that, let the hatchery go up and let them kill it. Let it take longer, and during that time, just try to make 3 bases and drone. So.
It's still running some lings across though, trying to see if maybe she can finally get some damage
We'll
done.
check. We'll look for some.
I guess the one
we'll look for some.
Is that these oracles have stayed
I'm
at
sure
home for
there's a couple
now.
out there.
As long as the oracles are at home,
I'm looking
they're
for
not
some
killing
cheese.
stuff on the other side of the map, right? So because of it, the
casted
work
games.
is still okay. But I mean, Showtime obviously realizes at this point that he really doesn't need to do all too much. We can just now transition into a relatively normal game. Here we go. This is all maybe delayed a bit.
The oracles are really good to protect the adepts from the lings. They're really good at killing the queens too. So all in all, this is a very tough situation for Scarlet.
About as good as you can. I love this counterattack, by the way, with the adepts. This is going to force out a ton of Zerglings at the absolute bare minimum.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And those
stasis ward as well, just to be a nuisance. 4 overlords.
Oh, 1 lane got caught only.
Just a little bit nervous about the whole situation.
Yeah, see, we can't contest because of the oracles. The oracles will protect the adepts.
I'm starting to get nerd chills actually with the way that Showtime is defending all of this, because it's been flawless. I mean, you could maybe point out some movement that could be slightly optimized, but it has been about as good as you can defend. Excellent crisis management. Finally, the adepts.
And then the oracles are going to help out right now.
Last shade. But I mean, it's so many links, and honestly, at this point, maybe the oracles. Yeah.
The oracles should have been there a little quicker.
In,
but it is what it is. But the oracles should have been right there, defending the adepts.
Was taken on the links too. And ultimately, where we end up is a stellar economy for Showtime, who can transition out of this quite nicely. Now, you do have to be careful though here as a Protoss, because all of your timings are kind of out of whack, and Protoss is very timing oriented. You don't really know exactly when +1 melee is going to finish up right now,
scary.
even though in the grand scheme of things, this upgrade started off quite good.
The mass
Scarlet's
oracles.
economy has been hurt by both herself and then also the Protoss.
The oracles.
But across the board, this is still a very losable
Yeah,
game
yeah, the
for
spores are.
Showtime.
Yeah, but that's why you gotta
This is
keep
one
the
of those
depths where
scenarios
the
you can
what the oracles
almost
could
get a little bit overconfident, right?
could protect.
Still making stalkers
Where the
against
adepts were
Zerglings.
fighting,
The Zerglings are gonna soon have +1
there was
melee,
no
which
spores
normally
at that
they wouldn't
in
have
that area.
when you're moving across the map with those stalkers, and obviously Zerglings are pretty good against stalkers. High Templar, because of
But
the
all in all,
will come
did
back
good
in its
damage.
two. Blink is going to finish up.
Scarlet's on
+1
3
round.
bases,
Four
saturated.
hatchery here for Zerg, and an infestation.
And we're going
phase.
for a counterattack.
Scarlet, by the way, skipping out on the Roach Warren as well as the Bangling Nest. So she's cutting her corner in that regard.
Showtime. Ooh.
Great defense over here, too. Oof.
Yeah, the defense
Dude,
is.
Showtime has gotten so freaking good at this game. Is that like the first real unit that's dying? I mean, I know that the Adepts died, but they were meant to. Sorry to the Adepts, but like this has been...
Oh, those lings
pretty
got
much as good as it
stasis.
can be.
That's a lot of lings.
There
I
is,
got.
however, a macro mistake. I didn't quite glance at the bottom of the screen yet. Okay. Yeah, we do have to certainly start spending the money. Showtime also late with the 4th Nexus. We definitely should have
I've been
had something
rewatching Winter
building
Cheese
this
Hours
section
with
of
your
the map
game.
already.
I know, I gotta send
them
them some new ones. I gotta send Loco, Winter, and Pig some new
She's
games.
got a hive coming. She's got the lurker den. Basically, Scarlet, she said, okay, this game is going to be pretty much impossible to win if I don't cut like 17 corners. And she did, and she's been able to get away with it. Plus, Protoss is sort of mis-macroing a little bit. If she can get a council on this base, that would be amazing. Not going to happen, it seems. Oracle's still going around. You know, Showtime here struggling with the amount of
Lost an
income that he's
Oracle.
getting. Not really able to, well, bring the money down until just now. Luckily, those warpins, though, are now available, but it becomes a very zealot-heavy army. Wouldn't mind having the Robo kick in here. Oh, okay, that's an alternative option. We're going Fleet Beacon together with a 2nd Stargate. So Showtime is saying, yo, after this pretty good start,
Here we go. Ooh, nice storm.
I'm gonna go ahead and try to make the pretty good even better.
And the
Some
hatchery's
players
going
don't
down.
really like playing
Oh,
late
that's
game
not
against
good.
Protoss too much in the current meta. Most Zerg players, at the very least, don't. Scarlet seems to be in that category. So
Yeah.
let's see what she does
Well,
when we just go straight to
Showtime is
Scarlet.
doing all the right moves for
We'll
a
probably see
situation
Tempest
that
here together
he has an
with the
advantage
Mama
of.
ship. Lurkers, however,
Taking
are
that base
already
out was good.
and lurkers are scary.
You need to
here.
go around. Yeah, lurkers are a
Although
problem.
Scarlet realizes
Showtime
this
has
is
the
a
ability to
bit
switch
right.
over to
The way
Tempest
that Showtime is maneuvering
and
around the map, it is
keep
quite
the oracles
dangerous,
alive.
of
Get some
course,
get some observers.
Tempests are not yet out.
And there goes the Tempest.
Until they are,
We need 2
Lurkers
starports
are
though. You need,
extremely
I mean, 2
scary.
stargates.
Network is coming,
You
but
don't,
I
not
think it's gonna
one,
be a
2
little too late.
stargates at the minimum. Cause we need to rack up those Tempests.
Yeah.
And then we
Showtime
gotta
living
get
up to
Templars
his,
for the
his nickname
feedback.
Again, right? A lot of people know him as the Mauer. He plays like
That's
an
where
absolute
time probably
The
perceives
early
life
game
in
was like,
slow
yo, I am
motion.
gonna throw you way off your game. What are you gonna do when I do
Oh,
this? And
Showtime.
she builds a hatchery right next to the Nexus. Well, apparently we do very little panicking.
Look at those lurkers just being
No
a
one is
menace.
playing Protoss too emotionally, apparently. Play it as robotic as you possibly can. Pretend to be an artificial intelligence. Oh,
Oh, don't lose it.
the Protoss players are shutting down feelings. The artificial intelligence, in the meantime, are trying to create
Happening
them.
all at once.
It's a little bit. It's a little.
Oh,
bit
on the
difficult
minimap.
to figure
Well,
out.
the lings are probably getting
But yeah, we are now on 4-base economy.
shift click
This is a
move.
Protoss
You
player
know,
that
shift
would be
moved.
difficult to break.
Or
Mama ship is coming. It's about halfway
Hotkeyed.
done. Second
Group
forge is
hotkeyed.
building up. We're going into
And
the
we're using the
Custome era,
minimaps to
which I
move
absolutely
around.
love. And so far, even though there is now,
But yeah,
well, another 5th hatchery.
there's always
going
a lot
up
of
after
happening on the
losing
minimap.
one in the top left. So
Nice
far, this
hold
has
for
effectively
Showtime. Those
been
stasis
4-base
wards are
versus
holding.
4-base, which will treat the Protoss player just fine. Showtime is making himself up for a proper attack right now. And I don't think Hydras are going to cut it.
Dry
No.
my eyes.
Hydras
that air.
cannot really touch these Tempests. Skarta's best chances are to go into, well, either Atomic
Oh,
Chaos
that next
again.
that cannon's
So
gonna
far,
hold.
Showtime has already proven
Maybe.
to us that he's perfectly
Maybe
capable
not.
of dealing with all of
If
that.
the queen pops
Or to
out.
go into Corruptors.
Oh, that's a lot.
Now, there is no Spire yet. And obviously, if you're making a
look at
Spire
that.
now, it's going to take forever to
Noise.
finish. It's a very expensive unit, too. The Mama ship itself apparently coming in clutch.
There goes the Tempest.
Plus,
Get
if
the
you do go
Oracle and the
Spire right now, you're
Observers.
always going to be
Revelation.
behind in upgrades unless the game lasts
Yeah,
under 20 minutes.
and a
And I've got a
Mama's
feeling
already
that
here.
Showtime is not gonna
Disruptors
try to
is
let
what
this
we
one
need.
slip through the cracks.
Just a
little
couple
bit late on the
disruptors.
tectonic destabilizers, but a
Sparkle,
really good run
sprinkle a
by in the
couple
top left.
disruptors.
Some of those zealots from earlier coming in clutch, leaving a bit of supply in the bank as well.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to
Perfectly
sprinkle
positioned
some
both
cannons
units.
around the
Another zealot
base.
does get warped in just to aid in
Scarlet
shutting down
definitely
that knight
wants to get
square
those-
before it really gets going. I mean,
Got those lurkers in the main.
if
Ooh,
you're a
no,
bronze
what are you
player,
doing? What are
this
you
is
doing?
effectively the style, right? If you're a
That you
macro,
Revelation,
this is
Revelation, and then
effectively
use the
style you should
Tempest.
aspire to play. Like, this is
See, this,
exactly the way you want to play it. It's calm and collected. Very few risks taken. Maybe a few too few.
yeah. So like right here, I don't really see Showtime's hotkeys, but you should have the Cybernet, the Stalkers hotkeyed, the Templars for the feedback hotkeyed, the Oracles hotkeyed, the Tempest to move in and out, the Mothership. You know, basically all of this, but the, you know, should be hotkeyed, all individual hotkeys, because they're all of them are important for, you know, controlling the situation. But in this case right now, we need the Tempest hotkeyed so that we can get the Oracle, revelate the lurkers, and use the Tempest, and then with the Templars, keep them in just in case the Hydras try to attack the Tempest. So it's a nice little back and forth, you know, between the Templars and the Tempest and the Oracle. But if you don't have that controlled, it's, how would I say it? You know, it's like you really need to have that in like a good muscle memory to be able to control the Tempest and the Templars separately, and the Mothership and the Stalkers, but have all that ready to go, because it allows you to like function a lot better, do a lot more way faster, more damage, more pressure, if you can do all that at once. And right now I kind of saw Showtime not do that as good. Didn't have the Tempest hotkeyed to be able to like and then the Oracle got recalled, I guess, worried about lurkers, but you kind of need that if you're gonna engage right here.
Risks, right? I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more decisiveness coming out of Showtime, but I mean,
Checking with
this is how the man is
pushing his Stalker
one
Temper.
turn
Yeah, you gotta hit.
one,
You gotta hit
how he's been
two different
playing
sides. The
for
only
more
problem
than a
is, yeah,
decade.
at a certain point, there's a lot of charge doesn't help as much because of the lurkers. So you're gonna have to find another way to like break it. Cause this is good, but sometimes this is like a pain in the butt. Those damn lurkers.
Very conservative.
And that's why you always want to get a lot of Tempest. That's why I said you need 2 Stargates. You need 2 Stargates so that you can pump out way more Tempest before the Corruptors and all that come in. But then you have Archons and Templars for the Corruptors and Stalkers. More Archons you would want than Stalkers. And that way you could deal with the Templars, the Corruptors. Because, yeah, this you got to clear this up right here. This is nasty.
Slowly chipping away. And
Yeah, there goes the
suffocating
Oracle.
Zerg.
Revelate the Oracle.
Those Oracles, by the way, from the early game.
And then
2 of them still remain.
there goes the Storm. I like to do
Now being
disruptors.
used to throw revelations that will allow those Tempests.
You see how the Tempest move? You see how Showtime moves the Tempest? Like the whole thing moves, the whole army moves.
Now being used to throw revelations that will allow.
And then the moment the Tempest moves back, the army moves back as well. And that means he's not controlling the Tempest as a hotkey, which is way better to do that because you have better control over your army. You don't have to worry about your army moving with you. When this situation comes in, you just gotta go in with a Tempest and instigate. But it's not helpful if you move with your army, because then your army might get too close to the engagement. You don't really want that. You just want to make sure that you're just in right range, and the Tempests are the ones for mobility and speed. Scar is also jump on defense, also reacting to the attack with his offense, defense. Like, damn, enemy sees lurker, chillin' bro. The Queen Hydralisk ready.
Tempest to shoot at
Well,
maximum range. So
right now we don't have
Tempest will be able to
Corruptors
see
and
far enough,
Vipers,
but the regulation does
so
allow it now.
Scarlet's
Wasn't Knight as worm
in a
over here.
bad situation right now.
Alright, finally the lurkers do
Ooh,
fall
but
back.
those lurkers.
Maybe. If Scarlet can force a full retreat on his army, that would maybe be something she can work with. Getting the +2 air tonight is already quite useful. Looks like the rest of the
Look at the
Zerg
Hydras.
army
Yeah,
that is
that's
available
why I
is
like
also gonna be sent through the
the
network.
Tempests. Still do a great job
Okay,
here,
another
but I
nice
like
worm coming
Disruptors
up.
too.
Yeah, and this Protoss army still struggling
pulling
to go
back,
up the ramp.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Showtime
The
does
Tempest-
decide to just go all the way back home. I think
Revelation,
it's totally fine.
nice.
Hydra Dash right there getting used. Not a very commonly used ability, but quite nice when it comes to getting out of range of the storm. Lurker,
Oh.
though, yeah, a couple of lurkers here do get planted down. Problem is, these lurkers are not gonna have a way to go
That's
home.
expensive though. Losing
Scarlet
those
does still have
lurkers
some
are kind
money
of
in the bank,
expensive.
though. And you know what? She is navigating this about as good as you can at this stage in the game. My main concern is the continuous Hydra production. +1 air though,
You'll be
+1
watching,
flyer
see.
upgrade is now starting up in the Spire. And this is something that sometimes happens to Showtime, you know?
Scarlet's
Like,
taking the map.
he's playing pretty much a perfect
1,
game,
2,
and
3,
then
4, 5,
slowly
6
but
bases.
surely, the extreme conservative
81 to
approach, like
79.
zero
Not too
risk-taking,
far on the
is gonna
drone count.
open up to, it's going to open him up to run bys like the ones that we've just been seeing. Because I like the position that he was in at minute 12 a hell of a lot more than the position that he's in right now. Now, this is still a fantastic spot for Protoss, don't get me wrong. But it's just making the entire game really, really difficult. Yeah, sometimes Showtime lacks a little bit of that killer instinct. It's maybe not really the lack of a killer instinct, it's the
Oh, lurkers are here again.
pursuit of
Yeah,
playing
see
the
the
perfect
Tempest.
game. But then at some point you realize that you're human, and well, as someone who's been playing a
Spire's
human
coming
IRL
up.
for quite a while now,
It's not good.
it's pretty difficult, man. To play
Showtime's
the
got a
perfect
little bit of time to clear up this.
This is still fine, though. Nice collapse here from a couple different angles, forcing the Zerg army to retreat or die fighting. In the meantime,
A
there's
lot of
little bit a hit
lurkers.
squad as well. So recently, I did cast a series of Showtime going up against Serral. And in that particular set
Ooh.
of games, Showtime was a lot more decisive.
Ate up that
He
army.
did a lot of recalls into the opponent's main base. He did a lot more strategic variety.
Tempest, just
Admittedly,
more
in those
Tempest.
games, it didn't really work out as great, but
Now we're
I
gonna
feel
have to
like
deal
it
with
would be much
Corruptors,
more
so
likely for that sort of thing to work against Scarlet than
Showtime
it would
had,
against Serral, and Showtime was very decisive in those games.
a lead,
Maybe-
and I
maybe
believe
it's
the lead
because
is
he perceives
dropping a
himself
bit
as, like,
because those lurkers are tearing it
being
up.
on the back foot in those type of games anyways, so he's just more allowed to be crazy. Now this is again not a terrible
Yeah,
thing.
but if we had the Tempest,
A lot of units
over
are low
there.
HP, but you know what? When they pop out of their lurker cocoons, they will be healing back up to full. Kinda sick.
I don't know why we're separating the
Our,
Tempest,
by the way, at minute 16.
and then I'm not sure why
Seriously,
we don't
if
have
you-
more.
If you compare this to the way that like Hero would play it out, or the way that
But-
Max Specs would play it out, this game would have been
see.
over by minute 8.
Not
would be them
that
pushing.
scary.
I sometimes wonder if Showtime is making a game a little over.
Not against lurkers. Lurkers are good. If you don't have your Tempest there, but lurkers
There's still no
will
real answer for the Zerg. Still
just
kind of feels to me like the Zerg player is
demolish your
fizzling
army.
out, but, I mean, she has
If you don't have
been for
detection, if you lose it by
better half of this game,
for whatever reason, a
she's still
overseer
here,
and a Hydra is
slowly
dead,
upgrading, slowly
a
developing,
Hydra kills
started
it.
showing us that she is not to be tribaled with, as we have now got
Lurkers
double fire. That is one
take out
way
the
to try and
trash.
catch up to that single Cybercore. Cybercore just slowly upgrading. Scarlet still has a pretty monstrous army too. I mean, it's lurkers and hydras for now, but she is starting to get a little bit of a bank here to make a transition towards a lot of corruptors. And that's the goal, right? Like this is
Yeah, which I
the Zerg player
I think would have been
effectively accepting
better having
being on the back
Archon,
foot
Storm,
then
and
slowly grinding
Tempest.
away at the Protoss.
That way you can, you know.
I mean, those storms are glorious though. Showtime getting a lot of value. it still kind of feels a bit futile, right, for the Zerg. I mean, it's silly because you look at the banks here, and you look at
See
the
right
army
here?
that Scarlet has. And
That should have been Tempest hotkey back and forth instead of the whole army. So he's got to work on his mechanic on the Tempest.
she has a good economy and some good upgrades too, but
Ooh,
it still feels a little bit
they're
futile to
good,
me.
but they're not great. Those lurkers will ravage.
Protoss just has so much, like the full map control, and while Zerg is difficult to break because of all the lurkers and the static defense, it still certainly feels like
Nice little run
the
by
Protoss
we
game
got
to
through.
lose. But let's see, it's certainly possible. Slow and steady wins the race right here for Scarlet. Yeah, Scarlet
Hitting
very much so
Colossus.
trying to play
I mean,
survivor,
observer
where
speed.
Showtime is shopping for, like, you know, the Rolexes of. He's getting the Ferrari of Protoss upgrades.
Hey, we
It's
need
like
that for lurkers,
observer
that's for
speed.
sure. The
I mean,
observers.
it's nice to have, don't get me wrong. Ooh, can't afford this though.
Yeah, we
Bunch
kinda
of
do.
Hydras. Woo.
Oh, don't storm your own observers.
Apparently, oh, one extra storm to boot right there, killing a bunch of his own observers.
Nice.
Okay, Nidus Worm again, trying to cause chaos. Hatchery falls over here, hatchery falls over there. Showtime could continue fighting.
Good
Showtime
morning,
should just go
Dope.
kill her,
What you
man.
doing
Just go. We can
up
just-
so early?
I feel like we should really just go. 19 Corruptors now, though, are coming up. Obviously, that's what Showtime is worried for. The mass transition towards mass Corruptor. These are the first time that flying units hit the battlefield other than the Overlords and the Overseers, and they're immediately at +2/+1 with +3 attacks underway. Okay, Mothership is here. Oh, good
Ooh,
start.
there goes their Archons.
Really nice
That's what we
storm.
want.
There's an Archon underneath as well. Scarlet
That's-
decides
that's-
to just commit.
Yeah, that's
to
why-
killing only the Mothership, but that is an extremely expensive unit to kill.
See, so
And in the
you,
end,
all
the
you need is
Mothership
those
didn't even
Archons,
go down.
Templars, and
All
some
of the
more
Corruptors, though,
Tempest.
disappeared within an Ivory.
Ooh.
Ooh. So, the RS.
Showtime's brain is now overheating. Scarlet's pressure is debuffering. Yeah, well, definitely that hatchery kind of paid the price a little bit in the beginning of the game. It didn't block the base, and yeah, that made a big difference because Showtime was running the lead, and I feel like Showtime, you know, when you play StarCraft for years and you play the same build for years, the meta build, right? You run into a situation where you have a go-to build, right? Like say for whenever a Protoss gets cannon rushed by another Protoss and the cannon rush doesn't do too good and it gets stopped, most Protoss's go-to build is to get a couple Immortals, Prism, and then send out the Immortals and go kill the cannon rusher, or hide a Stargate at their side of the map and then make a void raid and kill them. So I feel like Showtime, being that, you know, he's gone through this over and over again, whenever Showtime feels like the Zerg is overcommitting and didn't do enough damage, taking a third early with the Adept Oracle play is like probably his go-to. You know what I mean? It's his go-to play whenever this happens. Like whenever I'm Terran and Zerg comes at me with like an early Ling rush, my go-to is BCs. I go, oh, okay, you want to do a Ling rush? Then I'm gonna go straight to BCs. Boom, boom, boom. 1-1-1 straight to BC, because I know that there's a little bit of weakness when somebody does that, when they go pull first instead of a hatch first. So I feel like Showtime, that was the go-to whenever somebody does something a little expensive and doesn't get the job done. And that really helped, you know, get a bigger lead, getting the third, keeping the third while putting aggression with the depths, killing some drones in the process, and then the oracles kind of protect the third anyways, just in case. So it was a good choice, a good follow-up to, you know, getting proxy hatched, and the hatch didn't do much. Bada boom. What up, Double A?
Cell used a bit of a different map pool, and I'm not exactly sure as to why, but it used a different map pool than what the official StarCraft 2 tournament map pool is like, or at the very least what the official StarCraft 2 ladder map pool is like. We find ourselves on the grid. I feel like it has to be said like that. This was actually one of my favorite maps from the TOMC. Not so much because it was awesome, but mostly because it was interesting. I haven't really seen too many games on it, but I've always really liked the idea. Plus it has the word "the" in it, you know? That immediately already makes life a little bit better. It's a weird one though, because this map is in like, it's in layers, you know? It's like an onion or an ogre. It's got layers. So there's like the top layer, I guess, is what we can call it over here with like the main bases. Then it's a ramp down to like another layer of map. And then that layer of map kind of continues all the way to the other side. And then there's another layer down that leads to another, well, section of the map that has a lot of expansions on it too. And then you can go another layer down. Where another layer and then you can go one
It's a
more.
nice,
There's too many
interesting
layers.
map.
What are we doing, Scarlet? Are we doing it again? Yo, what's going on?
Oh, hatchery.
Because
It is
worked
right in
so well
front,
the last
too.
game. Yeah. Well, Showtime has seen that this
Oh, is
time
a
around
pool?
it's a spawning pool first.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that we're respecting it a little bit more this time around. Double gateway as well.
So it's a little
Cyberpunk
bit
right
more
now will be
aggressive.
for the Nexus. So Showtime's still just on a single base. Yeah, I think that previous game, though, also made Scarlet realize that it was going to be really difficult to win in a straight-up macro game.
Oh.
Cedo, ooh, nice movement, just barely in the nick of time. Zealot now spawns and Probe is in position to go ahead and re-wall this whole thing in. More Zealots are coming up, but I mean, you gotta respect the Zerglings here. They actually hit pretty dang hard. When the creep spread starts
Save the
moving
probe.
around too, you get some of that extra vision, we get the regen, we probably get a queen too. Shield batteries have now been built though, for Showtime, but they take a little...
I like this situation from Scarlet. Scarlet's hatchery's right here, right? And then the Lings are able to like nibble on this side, and the Zealot's like, shoot, I can't kind of like cut through here. So I think, yeah, and we can't go through here too. So this is a nice little pocket that that is at the moment difficult to harass. You can't do it for too long because the Adept comes out, and usually the Adept comes out pretty early. But it's a nice little, you know, something to have, a situation where you're like, yeah, I'd nibble more on the cybernetics core than anything.
A while before they actually finish up. I guess that means they have not been built. They've been building.
Oh, we got three more
Really,
drones.
Scarlet? We are spine crawler rushing?
Ooh.
Oh god, okay. I haven't seen a spine crawler rush in a long time.
Yeah, we could still
Of all
make
people
more.
to spine rush though. Really? Showtime? I mean, if you can break Showtime with it, sure, but like this is
That's a lot of batteries, but spine crawlers do
like,
pretty
I
good
kinda
against
picture Showtime
Adepts.
as like that character that
And
is,
there's
like,
no base
fully
yet, but
plated up in
Scarlet
the
doesn't
most
also have a
defendable
natural,
armor
so.
ever. You know, super high constitution levels.
But we need to keep that
maxed out
hatchery alive.
HP counts, solid amount of armor.
The queen needs to come
And
up,
that's the one
and we
where
need to
spine
poop.
crawler rushing?
If we could hold, yep,
Well,
we
you know
got
what?
it,
Might
we
just
got it.
work. The hatchery is still alive. Second queen does pop up. It's gonna take a while though to finish.
Yeah,
Mostly
now we
just,
get
I
the
think, to
creep. The
draw
creep could
fire.
live.
The queen is here though, and we do get a pretty dang strong setup here for Scarlet, who is trying to see if she can break through this. Now, ultimately the hatchery falls, but likewise the cyber core is also looking like it will go down. Showtime already canceling the warp gate research.
We're getting more
Trying to get
drones
some of those
or
resources
Lings,
back.
maybe.
He did spend some of the tech right there
Probably
on
Lings.
that robo facility, so the robo facility is going to finish up eventually. It's going to make life a little bit better. Zergling speed though nowhere to be seen because Scarlet still.
The
has
one thing
not
I
taken a
the one
gas
thing about
gas.
this build
So
that
this is
Scarlet's
just
doing
going to be slow as
is that it like this build is only best to break the natural, and that's it. It can't really do too much regarding like going up the ramp and doing damage. I mean, if you're lucky, but most of the time there's a battery shield up there and stuff, and it's not as easy to like get up there and do damage with the spine crawlers. So it's just literally just to break the front. The only problem is that Showtime never made a Nexus, so we didn't really commit to anything that's gonna get broken if for whatever reason. So Showtime's doing, I would say, a good conservative defense.
Zerglings only. Look at the amount of static defense though. Look at the amount of shield batteries. Every single one of these Protoss units has a personal shield battery. Still, the Spines will be more than happy to start poking through all of that. We should certainly begin an Immortal if we can, but Showtime actually doesn't quite have the money for it. Now finally one starts up. Cybercore had to be rebuilt, a Gateway had to be rebuilt as well. The Queen just barely got enough energy right there as well for a transfusion on the Spinecrawler. And slowly but surely, the Zerg player is starting to work.
That Immortal though, once that Immortal comes out, oh.
I didn't know that Canada was known for its cheese. I thought they had like maple syrup and all the rest of it, you know, but maybe there's like... Alright, well the
there goes the
Immortal.
Immortal.
And the Immortal was going to make killing those spine crawlers way easier. But
Immortal needs to go in the front.
Yeah, there's not really an easy position. Can the Immortal go around the side here and be in range? It can. Okay,
yep.
That's sick. So the Immortal now can start targeting down the spines. One of them going down within just a second. In the meantime, we have a Warp Prism coming up as well.
Ooh, that Warp
Showtime
Prism
wants to juggle that Immortal. Nice targeting again, though. Actually, the positioning there is pretty much perfect. Only one spine crawler right now remains, and that is going to be the end.
Yeah,
of it. Okay.
there's not too much you could do.
One of the pylons falling, but well managed right there. All things considered, by our German Protoss.
No.
Now,
yeah, the Nexus
as the
can
dust
go
settles, we're at 23 versus 13 workers. In absolute numbers, is not that much. But obviously, this is a massive economical advantage.
Oh, we're gonna lose those Overlords.
Showtime is just able to produce way more stuff as time goes on here. Yeah, and this is what I'm mostly concerned for the Zerg player. We do have the Lynx trying desperately to get a little bit of us around, but I mean, great positioning again. I love the way that Showtime
well, the
positions
Overlords.
it's so good.
Oh,
Yeah,
we got it.
This is what I'm mostly concerned for the Zerg. Scarlet is now going to have to double down on droning, but I wouldn't mind seeing.
Oh, we can't make the
Showtime
Nexus because of the
transition to a
creep.
one base all in, and that seems to be what we've got over here. Yeah. Extra
What up, Thousand Lifetimes? How you doing?
And even though one base Protoss all ins haven't been popular since Wings of Liberty, so pretty recent, we are going to have one over here. I mean, there will be a Nexus on the back of it
just
too.
chilling.
But I think we're going to at the very least commit. I mean, we should.
Oh. Doing some damage.
Even just putting on this amount of pressure, though, is quite nice. Oh, yep, grab the Stalker, too. Because the idea is to just soften up this Zerg player as much as possible. The more links that get produced right now, the smaller the economy of the Zerg player will remain. Scarlet, though, not taking the bait. I think Showtime should go. There's an Observer right now. There's 2 Immortals. There's Sentries. I mean, we ultimately go Immortal Sentry all-in. If you've been watching StarCraft for a long time, you'll probably be well familiar with the Immortal Sentry all-in.
Yeah, Immortal Sentry is good.
It's a very old school approach.
Especially when you could juice it up more now.
Way more immortal than they are right now. But I think this is an excellent idea. Link speed only about halfway done. Showtime engaging though in the most Showtime way possible.
Oh, we're gonna go in there and force field.
We want a force field. Force field. Sorry about that, Brenda. You're not going up the ramp.
Oh.
We're elevatoring all the units
Another force
into the main
field.
base. Refreshes the force field too. Good positioning. Keep the sentry alive.
Oh,
Okay, the
yeah, you gotta
sentry
keep
does
those-
end up falling, but I mean, there's still a
Another
bunch of
force
them
field.
remaining. I love
Yep.
this though from Showtime.
That's
Yeah,
going down.
warps in
Ooh, this gotta be
additional
painful.
sentries. There's no way for the Zerg to break the force field. There's no
Dirty.
Ultralisks, Ravagers. There's nothing here.
Yep,
for
no
the Zerg
Ravagers.
To break that.
That's gonna be
Obviously,
embarrassing.
Sentries won't have an infinite amount of energy.
Oh, that's good. That's
That
gotta
would
be embarrassing. GG's loco. Let's see.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, let's check this one out. Dang.
Everyone, my name is Loco, and welcome to a best
up,
of
JK,
5
the
series of
master?
top-level StarCraft 2. What I've got for you today is one of the quarterfinals for the Esports World Cup, a $700,000 tournament. Now, if you're a fan of Protoss, this is going to be the most Protoss-y series of them all. Playing right here with the Red Protoss probes. We're looking inside of the main base of Hero.
Can't go wrong with some Hero.
For his phenomenal Protoss gameplay, but also to play like a, you know, like a hero sometimes. His opponent in this particular match with the blue Zerg pieces, he goes by the name of Solar.
Ooh, Solar.
He's
one of the best Zergs.
The spiciest player in the world. He's not really super.
He's got a strong macro build play style.
But he's very good at just playing normal, straight up.
He's like Neeb. Neeb plays standard.
A lot of people don't necessarily talk about him too much.
Kind of like a
Solar
machine.
has been ranked amongst the very best players in the world for years now. Hero, though, a very fleshy player. I remember the beginning of this particular game, as I was one of the casters for the EWC this year, so I have already seen the majority of the matches. I haven't seen these particular games though in like,
oh, look at the
you know,
pylon over
actual
here.
depth just yet.
Let me put a
But I just
pylon.
remember Hero going for some of the craziest builds that I have seen in a while. So he's decided to go for a high ground pylon. That alone is already really weird in this matchup. Usually, you don't go for a high ground pylon. You don't go double gateway. None of this really is the norm.
It
Secondly, we
makes it seem like you're gonna go adepts, two adepts.
Right outside of the main base here of Solar. Solar's gonna check the natural. He'd expect a pylon right over here, right over there, maybe against Hero, right inside of the wall off. But he will see that there is a...
Yeah, usually, like we saw against Showtime versus Scarlet, Protoss standard build is they go up the ramp, they go scout, right? They go scout the Zerg, check if it's a hatch first or a pool first. If it's a hatch first, they already have a pylon, gateway, they scout, and then they go Nexus and then cybernetics core, right? So pylon, gateway, Nexus, cybernetics core, and then gateway again. Let's just say that. So that's standard. That's what a Zerg comes in and sees every time if it's playing standard build, right? Nexus at third at 4 and 5 minutes. But that's not happening. So as a Zerg player, you come in and you see that, well, things are already, you know, popping up in your mind. We ain't playing standard.
A whole lot of nothing happening. Two adepts immediately start up with the Cybercore finishing, and a proxy Stargate starts up at the 2-minute mark, right outside of the main of Solar. Now, what do you expect here as Solar? What exactly do you think could be happening here?
And it's a wall.
You see that there's a bunch of gateways, right? Does that mean there is no
that
nexus?
screams
Not
proxy right there.
necessarily. It could be one planted right now.
There's a wall.
Honestly,
It's a
the
wall.
most damning
Like,
thing here
Hero ain't
is the
playing
fact that
around.
there is no way for Protoss to leave the main. I mean, the gateway units can pop out on either side of the gateway. That doesn't really matter all too much, but there's no way for probes.
Yep, Solar's gonna go in there and see nothing, which
3 o'clock base
should tell him.
So Solar is gonna
See, Solar already's like, something's up already. I'm trying to find the proxy. There's got to be a proxy.
Stargate followed right now
Nexus.
Nexus. May I remind
For the battery.
you that this is the quarterfinals of a $700,000 tournament? Hero decides to approach this series in the most hero-like way possible. Adepts go into the main.
Battery shields
Crisis management is gonna
from the high ground, low ground.
point for Solar here, who still does not know. Proxy fleet beacon on the back of
Tempests
this
are good.
well. Evo chamber block
The earlier
is
the
smooth,
better.
though, here for Solar. Adepts decide
I know
to
I
shade
would.
away and
Void Rays aren't that great against Spores and Void and
Gonna see it
Queens.
now, though. Solar finally has a Zergling and an Overlord heading on over in this direction. He sees the fleet beacon, the Stargate, and then also the
But the
proxy
Nexus.
Oracle at this
Go.
point is done.
But
Only 2 kills for the time
the
being,
Oracle
but
being able to
he's
defend this
defendable.
is
See
the,
if maybe he can go for like a shield battery.
like, you can defend this with an
Maybe an
Oracle,
additional
especially if we didn't
final
use
would
the
not be a
energy.
bad idea
That makes
either.
this
So, Oracle
this,
is gonna run out of energy
defendable.
in 10 seconds, but he can use the energy recharge ability
Yeah.
from this Nexus to actually continuously top it off. And I'm assuming That is one of the reasons why we built the Nexus over here. Although, actually, he decides to recall about half of the workers.
Oh, you dirty little bastard.
And he's planning on mining this location. There is that recharge, though, on the Oracle, so he can
Yep, that overcharge.
Lasers. Tempest production has now started up as well. So within the first 4 minutes, we get a proxy of quite literally everything.
Yeah,
and then
we're
the
keeping
most
the
expensive stuff in the world, too. Now, why in the world did we proxy the next...
So what's going on here is we're taking advantage of the Oracle, right? So the Oracle has the overcharge, the overcharge ability, and the overcharge ability allows the Oracle to be active and defensive for a really good while. I mean, you can't really go in there with roaches and ravagers because, you know, you're hurting yourself more than you are to your opponent if you're trying to engage that early and they're going air like this. So it gets tricky. So instead of Hero trying to go for a natural on his side of the map, he's blocking his base so that the Lings can't run in, right, to his main base, but making a Nexus here so we could use the overcharge again. And the fact that the Nexus is over here instead of his natural allows him to use the overcharge way more, like multiple times. And so throughout this game, we're probably going to see several overcharges, which is really good. But the fact that the Oracle is able to get overcharged is like the secret sauce to this build. Is this ability right here. So he made a Oracle Revelation build. Very nice.
And then also the fleet beacon. Like, anyways, I love it, don't get me wrong, but what is the advantage of building the fleet beacon, especially right over here?
Because Tempest is good. Tempest is better against Hydras. Against Queens. Tempest are
the Tempest is gonna make defending this so much easier.
But
away at literally 1 HP. We have the Tempest though trying to back up. Queens get body blocked by the Zorklings and then also the structures. Still though, all of the probes have disappeared. Hero slowly working away at whatever he can hit. Obviously the Tempest can eventually kill all
too
of
bad
the
that the
things
Oracle
here,
well, the Oracle didn't
the
die.
attack speed is just too slow.
Oh
Second
no.
Tempest though is about 3/4 of the way done at this
gonna
point.
try to get the juice
Zorklings
again.
can't really get a good surface area on the structure.
It's terrible. It was good though. I like the concept.
It could use the pulsar
But
again right now. Maybe even
Hero used the Oracles a little too much too early. We didn't need to do any extra damage. We just needed to hold this area until the Tempest came up.
Zorklings go across too. I love the way in which Solar is playing against this. We've got ourselves a Twilight Council on the back.
Yeah, Hero's dead now.
Oracle is gonna get its energy regen once more, so these Lings will have to back up. Unless Solar believes
you're not going to be able to take a natural for a while.
Base, though, what will they be able to achieve? It takes 5 Tempests to one-shot a Queen. 2 Tempests, I mean, it's 2.5, right? So it's 2.5.
Like, Solar just has to keep macroing out away from this zone. Solar needs to take a 4th and start droning the 4th and the natural, the 3rd. And, yeah.
I love that Solar decided to build the lair right over here at the 3rd, far away from where those Tempests are, and it probably means that we will see the Spire survive.
Getting even one shield battery makes it so much harder to break as yeah, it is. So he should have, yeah. But I like the idea though. It's a really good way of using the Oracle overcharge.
Now we don't yet have a Spire here for Solar, who's only, by the way, on 28 workers. 28 workers, really not that much. If he can force out a Spire here, that obviously
it's my kind of style, you know. Nexus on the other side. I use the Nexus for the overcharge too, so it's just something I like to do, and I like to see, because it just makes sense, you know.
Long-range weapon, please back it up.
Oh,
jeez. Much like that Oracle from earlier, but now in a much more expensive form. We do have the Skytles unit surviving here. Interestingly enough, Solar does not go Spire. Alright, he's building it now, but he's by no means rushing it out. Tempest decide to come back in for more. He needs to be so cautious.
You could. You could. The only problem is that in the situation that happened for Hero, you gotta understand, we're at 7 minutes and 16 seconds. So in 2 minutes, we're gonna be mining out half of our mineral lines in the main base. So in 2 minutes, we're gonna be at 50% mining production. That's not gonna be good unless we take a base. And Solar's not letting Hero take a natural, and so that's gonna be problematic in 2 minutes. So and all Solar has to do is keep macroing to the right, and get the corruptors, and then boom, that's it. Corruptors own the Tempest.
Yeah, you need to make sure that you're within a range. Careful now, Hero, man. Being a Hero fan is always dangerous. In the meantime, the Zorklings are working away at whatever they can hit.
It was a good attempt though, but Hero got a little too greedy with the Oracle.
Here go to Glaive to Depths though, but this is now a one base all-in. Hero is still stuck on just a single base. This really needs to deal damage. If it doesn't, I think Hero is going to be in a world of trouble. I mean, he decides to shade right on top of all of the queens. That's kind of sick. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. He does back it up in time. Now the Zerglings show up as well, though. Bunch of roaches are just about
Oracle's coming in, but the Oracle's half dead. But
Queens try their very best to just stop this onslaught, and I think as far as the Skytles units go, he's already quite well protected, meaning that the Adepts need to be the next target here. Solar snipes another one of the flying units as well. This one is still around 16 confirmed kills.
Just not enough damage still.
Drones are starting to fall now, but really Solar just needs to defend this one push.
Losing that Tempest was big.
Coming up as well. Apparently that is where Hero is going to be spending some of his final money.
Yeah,
we're actually getting to the point where
we
the
did
main
good
base
though,
of the Protoss
but
is going to be running low very soon. Chaos all over the map.
Solar's just gonna hold that drone key.
The way that Solar has handled all of it. There's about a 0% chance that you can practice against this type of opener. Like, who in the world proxies a Tempest, a Nex, like all of it, basically all of it. Like, you can't really prepare against this sort of thing. But Solar, apparently not too worried about thinking on his feet, ended up making pretty much all the right moves. And while originally the plan was to go Corruptors, now the Spire is going to be used for Mutalisks, and there is nothing here for our Protoss player that shoots up. He decides to commit, it seems, with the Adepts in the mineral line, cancels the big clump of them at the last possible second.
Oh, we're going to take it out.
Creep dropping in the natural expansion of the Protoss. It means that Hero cannot expand.
Oh yeah, if he kept the Tempest needed to be alive. But then again, the Spire was coming up soon, so that you were going to be limited anyways. But it would definitely help.
Starting to fizzle out. Still though,
but we just not enough damage because we don't have a natural. If we don't have a natural, and
but I just don't really see a way out of this.
Yeah, no natural. That hurt. That was good though. I like the idea of because it's true. It's like the Oracle is so good with the overcharge that usually you can take the third and hold. So having it over there, you know, adds, because I like to do Nexus for battery overcharge over there with the Tempest and the Void Raids, but with this extra ability of overcharge, it does help more. It does actually strengthen that play style. So that's good. At least it's good to see that in a more, you know, dirtier playstyle than just macro. But yeah, that makes sense.
Next up, we find ourselves on Incorporeal. Honestly, Hero played that strategy, I think, about as good as you can.
No. If he wanted to do really good, he wouldn't overcommit with his oracles. Hero did a hero thing, and Hero loves to just go in there and just take a lot of chances. Sometimes, you know, when you're doing a build, especially like that one's you gotta have all your setup has to be clean. The fact that he went in with the oracles and tried to do a little bit of damage, it you know, that already weakened the oracle and the energy for the oracle. So when the Lings came over to go harass the mineral line, the oracle didn't have very much energy. So we're kind of like just, yeah, in a boat without a paddle. Just couldn't do much until the overcharge. So that hurt Hero. If the Oracle stayed at the other by the Nexus and just guarded it until the Tempest came, or even just made a couple stasis wards ahead of the game, made a couple stasis wards, got a recharge for in case lanes come in. All we needed to do is just wait for the Tempest to come up. That's all we had to do. But yeah, he kind of overcommitted with the Oracle. Try to go extra, get a couple drones, and they cost him.
Right, like he didn't get scouted too early. He didn't like lose any of his units early on unnecessarily. The micro on these Skytools units was tight, but good enough. It really all came down to Solar's defense, and I think maybe what Hero was hoping for is that under all the pressure, Solar was gonna choke. And it was very clear that Solar, even though he probably has not seen a strategy exactly like that before, even though he may not have had a significant response prepared for it, he still managed that about as good as he could have. Very well done right there by our Zerg, who now gets his natural expansion
going for the third,
and is forced to go for the third as his very first expansion. Okay, Gateway in the meantime on the other side of the map. Dude. Hero decides to put his first pylon as part of the wall off. It's just so funny to me. Across the board, this is not usually what you want to do, but hey, he doesn't care. He knows the rules. He's one of the reasons why the rules, the quote-unquote rules in StarCraft exist. Usually you don't put a pylon on the wall off, but hey, if you're Hero, you're too cool
I
to play
put a
by
pylon on
those
the
sorts of unnecessary restraints. Okay. Nexus on the Beckett is right
That's
now.
because Loco's a Zerg player, and whenever Zerg players see a pylon as a part of the wall, they get all happy with the bailing. They get that little bailing look in their eye. They're like, oh, we go bailing and break in. They get that nostalgia when they see that pylon right there. So that's what Loco's thinking about right in his mind right now when he's looking at that pylon. He's got his Zerg instincts kicking in.
Nexus 20 supply cyber core.
I don't think my
What exactly is going to be the play this time around? There is an opening right over here, so Hero can still leave.
That's up to you. That's up to you.
Easily. Now, Solar is very much so the type of guy that will just defend whatever you throw at him, right? Obviously, it's not quite. I mean, he's not a Protoss player, right? So you can't really call him like Demauer. The Zerg defense rarely looks the way that it does whenever, like, a Protoss player is a very defensive approach, like, for example, Showtime. But Solar is very good at defending dumb stuff. And this is a man who's got, like, 15...
Why we gotta call it dumb stuff, That's the one thing I don't like about, the community role models. The community role models, as nice as they are, they're definitely always slandering creative players, but then they're the first to say this game's boring and we need new patches because we keep doing the same build. We need new maps. Whenever they do their build over and over again, eventually they need a new map to do something different. But then when we do creative stuff, we do stupid stuff, or we're clowns. I wish that part of the community would be a little bit more respectful for creative players and not just shit on them in a way, where it's like lighthearted but not. Because it's like you're saying it, you don't mean it, but then you mean it. You just say it in a humorous way. But, yeah, it's definitely not always good when Hero's creativity is called stupid shit.
Years of experience defending dumb stuff. He's very good at it. One of the very best to do it, actually. One thing, though, is that Solar is also a very aggressive player. I think across the board, at least in the games that I've seen Solar play lately, he doesn't really like playing late game all too much. So it seems that his game plan is to effectively play a perfect early game, take very little damage, try to build up a massive economy, and then use that advantage from that perfect early game to destroy the opponent with a timing
I ain't no monk.
That seems to be Solar's general game plan. Try to defend, and then overwhelm. But don't let the game stretch on for all too long, because playing late game against Protoss right now is looking pretty difficult. Keep in mind that other series that we did see, by the way, featuring Solar going up against Classic. A very good match across the board.
The jello jiggling.
But Classic just looked one step ahead in almost every regard. But the first game in that particular series was also a wild and wacky one, right? And Solar just seems to be able to
cast some
navigate
drones.
really, really well.
Ooh.
Got some drone over here, though. Hero, that is. Not bad. Oracle once more.
Monks.
Oracle was the very first unit
I
coming out of the
definitely follow
Stargate,
my
no
own path,
surprise
that's
there.
for
Second
sure.
Oracle on the back of this too. I'm expecting a third Nexus here at about 345. So is Solar, as he's already sending Lings on over in this direction. It's important here that Hero does start it up before the units really get the possibility to deny the Nexus, but good timings here by Protoss, good timings here as well though by Zerg.
I just
Looks like the
I follow the
Adept has been
golden
spotted,
rule.
but the Shade is moving
treat
into
others the
main
way
base.
you want to be treated.
Cancels it again. Can't really get the snipe on it, but
That's
still good enough right here for
that's
Solar,
what I,
who has
that's
lost
what I
one
follow,
drone
that's what
and
I
then
believe.
one Zergling for the time being. I would say you can lose like up to maybe 5 drones and still be fine. Once you go beyond 5 workers lost as Zerg, assuming you don't do any weird shenanigans, right? Like if you make like a normal number
nice
of
pullback.
defensive units,
He doesn't know when it's going to be
you
activated.
can probably lose about 5 and still be fine. Twilight Council together with a Forge right now, additional gateways as well here for our Protoss. The reason, by the way, why Hero decides to put the pylon as part of the wall off, unlike many Protoss players, is so he can actually take a third Nexus off of just a single gate. Good movement here on the drones, though, as the Oracle swoop in once more. Hero does not get any damage done.
Kind of can't. He
But
kind of
only
went
just
right
now
through
is
the
when we see
middle.
additional gateways
He
being
didn't.
added.
No, but then
The
there
additional
are
gates here for
overlords on
Hero
the sides.
is going to be exactly what he needs. And
Solar has
gets the third
overlords
Nexus
everywhere.
up. The nice thing here for Protoss is that even if you don't do a lot of damage, you can still contest with the economy of the Zerg reasonably well. Now, what in the world is this? It's ambitious. That was barely gonna lock up anything anyway, but fair enough.
Maybe some larva.
Robo facility on the back.
Maybe
of
larva if you could.
So he's not gonna be sitting around on this tech route for all too long, but it will be Blink together with the +1. A lot of Protoss players currently a big fan of going into that quick storm. Seems to be the way to go. We'll have to see exactly what Hero decides to do in this case. Solar, though, defending properly. Only just now is when a few drones are starting to go down, but really nothing all too critical. Fourth hatchery already building here as well for the Zerg.
A lot of queens everywhere.
Top
Look
level
at them.
players are so good
Queens
at
everywhere.
building up so much stuff so quick. Like sometimes it might be nice if you play the StarCraft 2 ladder yourself, just to like take up a screenshot maybe of what the pro gamers are capable of getting 6 minutes into the game and compare it to what you are able to get out.
Well, I mean,
I
if
think
you do
especially as a
it the
newer
same
player, you
amount of
might be
times as they
surprised
do it, of
just
course,
how much
there's
value you can gain.
that repetitive
In a
muscle
relatively
memory.
uneventful game so far. I mean, this is mostly both players just testing the waters. Here we go, though. Overlord speed coming up here for Solar together with Roach speed. You really only get those 2 upgrades going at this stage in the game if you plan to go for a big push. There is no evolution chamber. There is no Baneling nest. We don't see a Hydra den. This is Solar going pure Queen, Roach,
Bunch of
Zerg,
queens.
and we'll be ferrying some of those units across the map with the Overlord speed. So there we go. Drop Alert starts up. It is important, of course, that Hero doesn't see this.
Oh,
So already we've got a big portion of the Zerg army sneaking out. I quite like this here from Solar. He made that army move when he knew that the Oracles were preoccupied on the left side of the map. Still though, Hero is taking up position here near the big ramp on the right.
Oh, he sees the observer.
But the Zerg army has already been snuck up north. He can use that to also morph in some Ravagers if he wants to. Sidestorm, though, is going to finish up right now here for Hero, so he will have that as an opportunity. Pushing up the ramp to the third base can oftentimes be difficult.
oh,
As
the
long as
army's
Protoss can
all
control
ready
the
to
high
go.
ground, life is usually okay on Incorporeal, but Solar is just about ready with a huge amount of units.
Oh, we can go for the
Here's
Ravagers with the
that
Oracles.
Overlord drop coming in. Mostly just to make sure that
I
the
target the
Oracles
Ravagers.
can't just be hitting everything in the face all too
Templars
often.
are here, though.
We don't seem to have a lot of energy on the High Templar right now, though. Energy recharge has been used. Some decent storms do go down.
Storming the
but
Oracles.
not that
The
many
Queens are
Berserk
out.
units get hit. Solar is hitting his
Oh,
opponent
no.
with a perfect timing attack. Bunch of the units right now are already streaming into the natural expansion.
And the
Lucky
Queens got
the
dropped
Overlord actually
over.
used right now as well to drop a bit of creep and speed up the Zerglings, closing the distance even faster to those High Templar, to those Immortals, and everything else. The real problem
no,
is
the
right over
Immortals
here.
right here,
It
but
seems like Hero is okay-ish. Oh my god, he's, well, hitting some of his own workers here. He's okay-ish on the right, but the fight on the left is not looking good at all. Big warp in over here on the right as well, though, as he does decide to now blink onto the Ravagers. Good target firing.
Nice
Probs
save on
did
the
evacuate
workers.
the natural for a little bit, hiding in the corner, now going back to mining once more. There is an observer here, so Hero can see if there's any more reinforcements coming in, and that is all that Solar is going for. We only see more Roaches, Ravagers,
going for the
Zerglings on
battery.
production tab, as he is smelling blood in the water right now, cornering Hero
Archon's going
over
down.
at his own third base.
That's
Up to
a lot
this
of
point,
lanes.
Solar has done a lot of army
Yeah,
damage,
he's
not a lot
done.
of eco
The Immortal
damage
goes
yet,
down.
but I think that is going to follow as
Yeah.
soon as these units over here disappear. Hero playing a very conventional game, a very normal game of StarCraft here after, well, one of the weirdest build orders I've seen in a while, and he is getting utterly overwhelmed here by Solar.
dang.
Game number
Kind of feel like I'm curious what the average amount of drones Hero kills against somebody like Solar on an average when they go out and try to find drones to pick off, because the Oracle can make a lot of stasis wards with the energy that it can produce with the Nexus overcharge. You can make a lot of stasis wards, and like, is it do you kill that many drones? Because I didn't see that many drones die with the Oracles. Maybe like 2 or maybe 3 I saw. I think 2. So all that could have been like booby trapping the whole natural and third technically, and that could do a lot of support. So I don't know, kind of, because I always think about the Oracles, like if it and that's why I stasis a lot. I do a lot of stasis at my third, a bunch of stasis. That's what I use it for the most. So I always, when I don't see it from other players, I'm like, did you do enough damage with those Oracles for them to not be stasising?
Number 1, he navigates one of the wackiest, one of the wildest early games that he's probably ever faced. Game number 2, super conventional from Protoss, and he still utterly destroys his opponent.
Yeah, you would think everybody teaches themselves their whole life. Like, you would think that you would want to always try to improve and learn different areas, ask lots of questions, be a curious human being. I think it's curiosity always gets me.
I wonder what Hero is thinking at this point in time.
Random
He's
YouTube
one map away
suggestion.
from elimination.
After watching a ton of Uthermal videos, I suppose I don't know the lore, but what's with that? Oh, you don't know? Let me see. So you gotta watch the Florencio files. So just to let you know, if you type in the Florencio files right here, you'll see some really fun games. We're still doing the series, but there's we got a bunch of games, like almost 300. This is part 1. So let's see, share. Here, I'll link it to you. But basically, this is a Nexus hat. It represents creativity and StarCraft File lore, which is Nexus rushing and recalls. So yeah, if you watch that series, you'll understand more. All I can say is definitely a fun journey. If you like Uthermal, yeah, I'm like I would say I'm like another type of Uthermal. A more chaotic one, but Uthermal is very creative, so we're like in the same boat of mind thought process.
Nation. He needs to try his
Well,
best
we like
to
dirty
figure
builds.
things out right here, right now. Meganatha, though,
But yeah,
in
welcome.
general, not an easy map to really be cheeky on. That's really what Hero is known for. He can play straight up macro really well, but he's known for his more cheeky early
Yeah,
game.
check out the Frontier Files. You'll like it.
Meganatha's just so big. Not easy to really get anything crazy going. Let me have a quick look, though. Meganatha,
Right now, we're just chilling,
what is
watching
the-
some creative builds from the pros, something,
Google
some fun.
autocorrect does not
It's kind of
agree
late.
with
It's
the name.
early
What
morning
is
for
the
me.
win-loss
It's like 5
ratio
o'clock in
on
the
this map
morning.
for this matchup? So this is a slightly Pro Toss favored map at the tournament level with about a 52% win rate.
I don't know if I'm good for. Well, you don't have to watch them all. You definitely don't have to watch them all. But if you like StarCraft, you'll probably watch them all
A little less.
because it's
For Pro Toss.
got comedy,
Nothing all too crazy though.
it's got
Likely to be
strategies.
Hero's map pick, if I were to make a guess. Still,
Yeah, it's
this
got
is
a lot
not
of
really
shits
a
and
map where you can
giggles.
do anything crazy on. I mean, obviously you can if you really want to, but this is usually quite an ordinary map. It's very large, so if you can get the game, right, to go longer. So that's what Hero was aiming for in the previous match. If you can get the game to go longer, absolutely hate this cybernetics core positioning. I'm not why not a little bit? Oh well, he loves tanking stuff with the pylon. I guess it doesn't matter. But yeah, if you can get the game to go late, which is what Hero was aiming for in the previous match, well then obviously you can win with Sky Toss and all the rest of it. And this is technically a really good Sky Toss map. It's just that Solar,
What race do
he's
you
already
play?
shown us that
Joseph?
he is not really willing to let the game go on that long.
I play
Still, though,
all 3
Meganatha is a
races
bit
right now.
easier to hold
Random
bases on,
player.
right? So you can, well, obviously take the natural very easily. Third base doesn't have as many attacking opportunities for the opponent because, well, with the way that the
Yeah.
natural is positioned, it's relatively
Yeah,
defendable.
we're still going
Fourth
strong.
base over here, doable as well. Relatively tight chokes. And then the fifth base at the front here also is protected, but it's only protected in theory. Like in theory, I
only
feel like
getting
this map is
cheesier.
easy to defend on for Protoss, but so many times do we just
I
see
gotta
it
edit
horribly
some
go
videos
wrong, especially
today.
over at this base, where the Zerg can
So I
attack
could
from
put out
this
for you
side, from
guys.
that side, and then usually also attack the third at the exact same time. It's a lot of crisis management that has to go perfectly all at the same time. Stargate opener again though for Hero, no surprise there. It'll be up to Solar to try and see if he can defend really well again and then overwhelm the Protoss in the mid game. Can you really go for the same attack though, twice in a row? I'm not so sure.
Okay.
Overlord drops are phenomenal.
Yep. Yeah, I grind. I've been playing
I don't
StarCraft
think this map is
since
as
Brood War.
You
Well,
just don't have that much
since
room to,
1998,
maneuver
I've been
around.
playing StarCraft.
On Incorporeal,
So I'm
the
like a
third base
very
and the natural have just a
passionate
wide open
StarCraft
plane.
player.
Not so much on this map. Okay, well, the first Oracle is out, second Oracle already queued up. Third Nexus should start right now. Bunch of Zerglings on the left side of the map too, thinking about running on over towards that side of the map, but he's apparently not even concerned. Queen's already waiting. One drone,
Ooh.
two drone. Bit of hull damage though on the Oracle. Feels like a crazy dive, right? Just like straight past the Overlord, straight into the Queens. Solar was always going to be in that position.
That Oracle,
I
how
don't
many
really love
kills?
that, if I'm being
2
honest. Like,
kills.
the very first bit of engagement. I like it when you're like the underdog. You just have to try and get whatever damage you can get. I think it's fair at that point for Protoss players to take that much damage on the first Oracle right away.
I don't
but
know.
when you're not really, when the game is quite even, I don't think it's ideal. Still,
I don't think
he
it's
knows he needs to
ideal
get whatever he can get.
for the fact that they do better
Because
holding the
Solar's bases are
third.
locked up very, very nicely.
I mean, they're good for
Evo
scouting.
chamber this time
I
around.
would use them for
I believe
scouting
he
more
made
than
one at all in
drone
the previous
kills.
game.
Only for the fact that I would
Maybe
rather
in
have them
previous
for
games.
stasis
Did he make one
wards
in game number
at the
one?
third.
Probably not. Twilight cancelled out together with a Forge. I'm guessing +1 melee. Yeah, +1 melee here makes a lot of sense. When you get it this early, usually it's melee. When Zergs get it with the Lair, for example.
See, now we
it
can't
tends to
guard
be
these
+1
depths as
missile.
good because the oracles are damaged.
Oh, okay. Not a whole lot of links available yet. Hero, though, decides to use
There we
some
go, there we
conservative
go.
pathing as he now brings the 3 oracles together as well, hoping that maybe he can force the queens out of position. Adepts don't shade into the natural, instead they move into the main. Oracles in the meantime swoop around. They're thinking about
They
maybe
could get some
engaging over at the
drones right
third
there.
or the nat. Yeah, there's no spore crawler in the
Oh, we're
natural.
going for the
as
queen
we
instead.
Just scouted. One of the queens goes down, but good movement here across the board though on the drones. That looked like an absolute disaster in the making for Solar, but only 4 drones in total. Bunch of Zerglings too, but certainly not the end of the world. 5 adepts.
Kind
1
of feel like
queen,
we could have done more
19
kills
Zerglings,
on the
yeah,
drone
4.
side
Now
at
we
the
got
third.
Glaives? Okay, Hero. This Glaives upgrade is feeling very
Fantastic.
late
He's
to
in
me.
cutie.
It's also kind of silly, right? To throw away a bunch of adepts, only to then remake adepts. Like, Solar is now obviously seeing this, and he notices, okay, wait a second. Why in the world would you not be warping in Stalkers right now? Usually you use the adepts for follow-up aggression, and then you're done. Like, the age of the adept is over. The only reason you would ever be warping in additional ones is either if you're panicking,
Oh, we did lose.
which
Oh,
Hero really
close.
shouldn't be at this point in the game, or if you're planning on going for a Glaives follow-up. So, Baneling Nest has been
Yeah,
planted
Glaives
here
is
by
kicking in,
Solar.
so we're gonna go
+1
for
melee
like
is
a
already
Glaive adept
finishing.
build.
Keep in mind that
Which
Banelings
Solar
also
seen
do
adepts
benefit from +1 melee.
probably gonna catch
Something that is
on.
easily forgotten, but they do deal additional
So
damage.
he's probably gonna get roaches.
Not to be underestimated.
Oh, Hydras.
Templar Archives as well. Hydra then. Solar has got full 3-base saturation. A 4th base is done. Now follows it up with +1 missile. He's gonna go Hydraling Bane. Here go the adepts though.
Hydras aren't that great against
They're going to
adepts.
hit pretty hard, but they also need to deal
Soft
some
bellies.
sort of damage. Hero cannot afford throwing these units away, but this is obviously a very scary army. Still though, Banelings are already waiting, and Banelings, he sees them now for the very first time. Banelings are a unit that will be more than happy to absolutely blow up the adepts. Can we do one more Evo Chamber block? Maybe that was the original plan. As long as the Banelings are chasing the Shades, it should be fine. Okay, he does not commit. Looks like the adepts have snuck away. Another group of adepts towards the left.
There we go.
In the meantime, Storm starts up.
Double
and
hit.
obviously the 4th base gets delayed because of all of this.
Oh,
And he needs
those
to justify
Banelings.
the lack of a 4th. Looks like these units are going to get surrounded. Maybe some of them will be able to shade away. Hydra's joining in as well, though, and Hydras have a lot of DPS, so it'll be more and more difficult for these adepts to, well,
It was
for
close.
those adepts to sneak out. Okay, he decides to go for the recall as
Good
he's
recall.
giving up on this push.
That was
Solar doing
did some
Solar
damage.
things and making it look pretty straightforward. 12 drones, extremely effective defense here. Okay. Now, Storm is going to be the best weapon of choice here for Hero now.
Yeah,
right?
especially
So
with the
Storm deals
overcharge
80
ability.
damage in an
Now
area of
the
effect
Storm
over the course of a
does
few
way
seconds.
better.
Hydras,
But Archons will
Zerglings,
do really good
Banelings
against
are
bio.
all
Anything
Zerg
bio.
glass cannons. None of these units are particularly high in hit points. But, obviously, it's, well, quite literally an explosive army. If the fights don't last too long and Solar can, for example, roll Banes into a bunch of High Templar or Zealots or Adepts or whatever, there's a lot of juicy targets that he can hit with it. It is going to be difficult for Hero to stop the flood. Now, Hero needs a 4th Nexus. And he needs it ASAP. As soon as Solar figures this out, I think he's gonna try and do a big attack in that direction as he stashes a bunch of adepts on the watchtower. Nice movement here. Looks like the Oracles did force a cancel. Still though, Baneling speed is just seconds away from finishing. Hydras already have their ranged upgrade, and now they're also gonna get their speed upgrade in the muscular augments. Here
That's
come the
Overlord
additional
spot.
baits. It looks like these may actually be rallied into that 3rd base direction. He's opening up the rocks over here too. Solar is smelling a seat in the semi-finals here. trying his very best to see if he can make a big move.
Yeah, Hero hasn't
towards
won.
that newly acquired Nexus here of our Protoss player. In the meantime, the Banelings on the left as well, trying to hit them all at the same time. 7 Protoss already down.
This is what I mean about stasis wards.
At the fourth base in a world of trouble too. Nexus itself just part of all of the damage dealt, and he needs to cancel it. Very successful push here again for Solar.
If we could have sprinkled
Slowly
stasis
whittling
wards
down
around.
the opponent's army. On 3 Nexi, Protoss really can't make a transition towards Skytoss, and that seems to be Solar's biggest nightmare in the matchup right now. He backs up to safety to the 5th hatchery again. Still, some of the Zerg
Oh, we're trying to surround him
on the right side, and he's now thinking about using this for a surround.
Yeah, he
Hero
wants
needs
to
to be
surround it,
careful
but-
that he does not find himself in between a bunch of, well, Zerg armies. Great movement here by Solar. He noticed that stasis wards were placed over there. Some good Baneling detonations too. Hydra's coming in around the back. Hydra's coming in around the side. Queen's hitting him in the front as well. And Solar
man, full surround.
is looking like an absolute StarCraft god in this series, making Hero look like a bit of a fool.
Oh no.
Just straight up outplaying him. Extremely nicely done here by Solar. Big overextension by Hero, of course. He did not realize that half of that Zerg army decided to slip away in a straight-up engagement.
Yeah, and
Those
he
Stalkers
sort of
are
got surrounded
certainly
on all
not gonna win the
sides.
fight.
The Templars didn't get
+2 melee
a
on
good
the back of this
leverage.
too. Still a safety worker as well, just because he can. But at this point, Hero's bases are going to start running low. He needs a 4th base soon. The main is going to start drying up. The natural expansion is not too far off either. Still, though, Solar feels like he has an opportunity to be the aggressor. Storms still need to be taken into consideration, but it's just pure Hydra Ling. Bunch of Banelings also do show up.
Oh.
Almost like a Brood War-esque type of unit composition.
Oh, he pulled some up.
Run out. He needs to go into
Oh, he
an
lost his
Archon there
Templars.
just to try and keep those Templar around for a little bit longer, using the Stalkers here to body block to try and save the mineral line for now. But Solar is smelling blood. He is
not
just
looking good.
readying everything he's
We
got.
just got
straight
tier 1
across the
units.
map. No Hive, no Lurker Den, none of that, which seems to be what all the other Zerg players are going for. But Solar is able to get the job done, it seems, with just pure Hydra Zergling. Navigating these games brilliantly. Absolutely brilliantly. Very, very...
Disgusting. Let's see. I'll do one more and then I'll get some sleep. Let's see here.
Hello, everyone.
Try this one.
My name is Loco, and welcome to a best of 7 series
Dang,
of
we ain't gonna watch
professional
all of 'em.
StarCraft 2. What I've got for you
Best of
today
7.
is the finals of the Philadelphia 2025. Now, obviously, I cast a lot of European tournaments. I do cast a lot of Korean events as well. But there is a massive region in StarCraft that is oftentimes neglected, and that would be the Americas. Spotting right here from the United States with the red SCVs. Our first grand finalist. We're looking inside of the main base of Future. His opponent, admittedly not from the States, not from not from North America. He's from Poland, but he did fly all the way over to Philadelphia. We're looking at none other than Geralt's main Nexus. So this best of 7 series is the grand finals of an
What up,
offline
Neil?
StarCraft 2 tournament. There's about 6,000 or
Neil
so dollars
Satari in
on
the
the line
house.
for
What
this
you
one.
up to?
And
It's just some games. I'm just chilling right now. I'm gonna get a little bit of rest, and then I'll come back and play some ladder. But
make your way through and all that. There were about, I think, 32 players or so, spread out.
Just
over
watching a
bunch
few
of
games
different
and
groups,
chilling.
And then these two came out at the very top. Now, the skill level difference between the players, though, I looked at some of the earlier rounds, and let's just say that even I could have participated in this particular one. I probably would have
This
been
is,
around now, but
the
I think
cheesiest
most folks that were there
6 grand
probably just played
finals.
in the tournament for fun, and then obviously at some point the very best rise to the top. Now, Future, in case you're not familiar with him, I have casted Geralt quite a bit on the channel. Not so much Future. So Future at this point, as of me casting it, is considered to be the #2 player from the United States. The #1 is Estrella, who has played in some of the Philadelphias in the past.
Oh,
but as far as
goes
I know,
up.
he did not play in this particular one.
That's a
As
lot.
of me casting
It
this,
better
he
be
is,
cheesy if
according
it's
to
going to be
Elite
best of
Elect, currently
7.
the rank 39 in the world overall. And Geralt, which is kind of funny, is apparently currently the rank 38. So the rank 38 in the world going up against the rank 39. Curious to see how this is going to go. I mean, obviously the tournament is called Cheesadelphia. So
Yeah,
therefore
but
you would imagine we're going to see a little bit of cheese, although this is
You
actually
would,
a
but
very long
Cheesadelphia
running
doesn't
tournament
really have any
series.
restrictions regarding
They've been,
cheese, right?
hosting these events for a
Like, people
very
don't go to
long time.
Cheesadelphia to
Even though
cheese.
once upon a time, cheese
They
may
just-
have been
they
the
just
go-to,
call it
especially for players
Cheesadelphia.
like Geralt these days. It
Has a
really
name,
is.
right?
Geralt, in my
If I'm not
mind,
mistaken.
really a
'Cause I haven't seen too
European
many
Necrotos.
cheese in
So he's from
Cheesadelphia.
Poland. I don't know if I've already mentioned that, but Geralt is
That would be
extremely
hella
good at
cheesy
just
in
playing
Cheesadelphia
normal
games.
StarCraft 2, and obviously when you play at the absolute tippity top of the European ladder, you are going to be facing off against the likes of, well, for example, Klim, for example, Spirit, for example, Hero Marine, right? You're like, you know all the names. Those players are very dangerous and not afraid to push you to the limit. So I've got a
Push it to
feeling,
the
I don't know who
limit.
ends up winning this particular finals, but I think it's going to be quite difficult here for Future, because Future will play primarily.
I don't know
on
if
the
it's still
Europe-
going on or
sorry,
not. This could be an
primarily
older
on the North American
video.
server. And the NA
But
server
when it
in
was, or
StarCraft
if it
2
is,
certainly a little bit different. I mean,
I don't really
they say Americans
think that
put cheese
people-
on everything. Well, let's just say the StarCraft 2 ladder is no different.
No, at the higher levels, they
Not
don't
quite
cheese
cheesy,
as
though,
much.
the Korean server. Oh, this is a misplay.
I don't think the
The Korean server in StarCraft 2 is hyper cheesy.
in Korea you
Why
can definitely
waste
see
10
some
minutes on a game
creativity
if you
for
could win in
sure.
4?
Korea
If
is
you
no
are
joke.
from, well, for example, the Americas or Europe or whatever, and you try
Koreans
playing on a
do,
Korean
but
server, you will indeed
Not at the
find
highest
out
level though. At
exactly
the highest
what
level
that
they'll
is
rather
like,
play
because they
standard.
love cheesing on the Korean server. Anyway, so far, excellent starting for Future. He gets himself
Because
one
this
of
is
those
considered a
attempts,
higher
which is
level,
really nice, and he also
and so most of the
intercepts
time they'll
the
probably play
elucidated
standard
Phoenix.
more times than not, 'cause
So already
they're trying to win.
Maneuvering those Marines in the right spot, anticipating that exact move.
We'll see.
Obviously,
Maybe
with the
we'll
way
get
the
some
pros
good
works in
cheese.
2025, he's trying to get another
We'll
one.
live for it, yeah.
Yeah, it's
for
not
the
bad.
for the
Very nicely
Gouda.
done. You can get that energy quite
Morning,
rapidly
Tiare.
to continuously get those
Y'all doing up so
hallucinations
early.
down, but so far, Future is denying everything. By the way, this is an American sporting event. Was I supposed to play the American anthem today? Missed opportunity. I feel like every American sport that I ever see on TV, they always play the American anthem first. I don't know if they do at Cheesadelphia. I'm not so sure. I am... Oh, Jose. All right, no, logo. No. All right, let's see. So, it's going to be a blinky opener here for Geralt, who's got only 3 gateways. Going to be using all of the, well, maybe the lack of information now to go towards a 3rd. Stimpack, though, is coming up here for Future. Last time I saw Future play was in DreamHack Dallas, which really is only about a month ago or
Got
so.
that siege tank ready.
And I don't remember exactly if he was doing a lot of SCV all-ins. Basically, that particular day of the tournament, I cast about a dozen Terran versus Protosses, and the only thing that really has hung in my mind is that all of the American Terran players were doing SCV all-ins.
Shit, I
So they
am
would
too here and
open up
there.
with 2 bases like this, and then send the boys to watch the other side of the map. It seemed to me at the time that most of the Terrans just don't want to play a longer game against Protoss. Very similar to, for example, Protoss versus Zerg, where we see a lot of Zerg players trying to end it. I don't specifically remember if Future was also doing SCV pools a lot, but judging by the fact that he's adding on additional barracks here, we may very...
That's because Protosses can take 4 or 5 bases by the time a Terran gets 2 bases to 3 bases. And so the matches don't math up, letting the Protoss take all these bases. You know, so you have to do, and you don't really have too much, because of the battery overcharge and all that. You don't have too much to go with. So you either play behind against Protoss, or you try to, you know, hurt them or even kill them in the early stage. The battery overcharge kind of kills the mood for like early aggression. That's why I like ZVT. Sometimes I can't take the whole damn. I can take the whole damn map. Yeah, don't let them. Don't let them take it.
See the boys here. Back it up in just a moment and go for a bit of an attack. He is gonna
Cheese has been
deal at least some damage here to those
distilled out of the
stalkers.
pro scenes for a long
Geralt
time now.
knows
I
how
know.
this sort of game is played, right? So do we bring the boys? Well, we certainly could. Maybe he wants to bring them in a little bit later. One of the siege tanks does go down. Nice snipe there by Geralt, who is desperately trying to get that, well, storm upgrade done. And then more importantly, I suppose, the charge. If he can get it done, that would be huge. There are the boys. Yeah.
Oh!
So we are going to bring the units across the map here too. Geralt is bringing a High Templar here to the front to maybe just scare the Terran a little bit. But a few...
Like, Protoss is, you know, take the third really early. And they're very known for just taking the third really early, especially now with the overcharge. And it's quite predictable, you know, that they're going to do the same builds over and over again to get the third. Because there's only so much you can get of an army taking an early third. When you're taking an early third, you're cutting a lot of corners. So they have to just get, like, simple units. A lot of them with battery overcharge, but just basic units.
Is on point. You should realize that upgrade can't really be done yet.
Oh, the Templars got
down. The boys are just about to show up.
Couldn't storm.
And this is
Storm's
a
behind
build, right? This is what we see from Terrans a lot in the current meta. Not so much from like the top level Koreans, not so much from, for example, the Clems of this world, but everybody just below that is a massive fan of these kinds of all-ins, because it's difficult to hold. He's actually sending the SCVs back home because he's already happy with slicing this.
It's not that it's difficult to hold. It's just that Terran doesn't really have too much arsenal, you know, compared to what Protoss can do with macro. You know, in this meta right now, this meta, you know, there's only so much you could do as a Terran player. There was like a picture of like a Protoss having like half the map while the Terran was barely getting a third or something like that in one of the pro games. Like, it's, you know, it's not very good odds if you let the Protoss, you know, run with the map and you're trying to take a third. You'd have to put in a lot of work, a lot of medevac drops and a lot of harass and defense, all that good stuff. So
economy in half. I mean, the Nexus over here is going.
There's just not too many options. Look at all the charge lots.
Far behind it either. He could have certainly kept the SCVs alive for a little bit longer though, and maybe use them to tank some more of the damage. But
or repair.
Either way, he sent some of them back again. I was gonna say there is one storm. Ooh, okay.
Oh, he takes down a Templar.
The brave Marines here are sacrificing themselves, and they are actually going to be able to complete the job over there too. Geralt still has a bunch of units out. He's parking them in the middle of the map to try and snipe any of the reinforcements. There is still the third Nexus, but I think ignoring it is indeed the right play. Siege tank on top of the high ground here too, almost like pulling this section of the map off.
Yeah, closing off that tank right there should be on auto repair some SCVs.
Templar, but I mean, even if you
don't
micro this Terran army, it is still going to be tough.
That's Templars.
Yeah, so that was the storm. Certainly not enough. GG. Next up, we find ourselves on Maganatha. Future making the first game look easy. Are we gonna do a cheeky cheese?
Oh.
A cheeky cheesesteak.
We are.
A Philadelphia cheese. Anyways, we are gonna go for what looks like a bunch of barracks on the other side of the map.
He's trying to come up with something cheesy.
I love it. I love it. I'm assuming a Philly cheesesteak is from Philadelphia, right? Very dumb European coming in here. They have them in restaurant menus over here too, okay? They're very delicious, I'm assuming. The Philly and Philly cheese. It has to be Philadelphia. It has to be.
The Philly cheese.
The reason why we see these builds very frequently, I don't want to call it like infrequently, but the reason why we see it slightly less at the absolute highest level is because if you go up against, for example,
we were doing movie night.
For example, a hero.
Yesterday we did movie night.
Right? When you go up against one of
watching
the top dogs,
Tremors.
Protoss, they are basically designing their entire early game.
We'll try to do it like once a week.
And they're very, very good at executing it. The margin for error is extremely tiny, so it's super easy to mess it up. Right now, we do see Geralt scouting that indeed something fishy.
Yep, look at that. No barracks.
But, yeah, right below that point, we see these all-ins all the freaking time. Let's see. Oh, we're going to make it a cheeky little bunker rush here, too. A bunker rush for $6,000.
Tremors, part 1.
Not bad. Yeah, we're gonna see a shield battery come up on the low
Yeah.
ground. That's nice and all. Bunch of probes are gonna be pulled too. There's one zealot. So far, the firepower, of course, for the Terran units is not that significant.
Ooh,
but
gonna
all
get
of
the
these
zealot.
Protoss units are melee. So
Nice
yeah,
pull
you
back.
can't really catch up to them particularly well. Nice micro here by Future
Ooh,
2.
and we get those in
Who
the
is gonna be
bunker.
able to now finish up one of the bunkers at the very least. Oh, he pops the SCV.
Get up in there.
into the bunker too. And this is so freaking
Oh,
annoying, right?
man, we got the
Pro's
batteries
really
good,
He
but
does
that's
have the
constant
battery up.
repair.
Yeah, this gets targeted.
gonna take
next
out the
here by
battery.
bunker.
Yeah.
I think you should move the SCV out of it, put the Marine inside of it instead. SCV is not as important here, but he's still gonna be able to kill the shield battery anyways. Shield
Well,
battery
we gotta
can
keep the
repair
SCV
shields of
alive to
everything
repair, but
except
yeah.
itself, and now we do have the big switcheroo. Additional Marines do pop up. We do have maybe
Ooh,
one
losing
Marine
those
going down.
probes.
There we go, but that is really like the first bit of damage that Geralt has been able to do. And so far, Cheesadelphia is living up to its name. Okay, 2 Marines have actually died, but this is, for obvious reasons, a really, really good start here for the American Terran player. It's likely now that even the Nexus is in a world of trouble. At least the second bunker didn't go up, but I mean, it's not going to be
Yeah,
a
you should just be-
straightforward,
he's trying to go to
defense
the other side of the
by any
map.
stretch of the imagination. Oh, he missed the high ground vision there for
Ooh.
just a second, and that means that only a single Stalker with 22 HP will stay alive. And we can make a command center on the back
That
of this if we
SCV's
want
still
to. Now,
alive.
it's not going to be a command center. Instead, Future
You
has
would have voted
decided
for
to
that
go
one?
into
Yeah,
what is
now we gotta see
effectively a
what's
2-1-1.
next week. What are we gonna do
Normally
next
with
week?
2-on-1, you do go for Stimpak. It's 2 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport. But yeah, there's just way too
Oh,
much
Stalker's
firepower here. The
down.
Nexus is dead. It's a slow kill of the Nexus, but I don't believe he's going to be able to keep it alive. Additional
Gerald
structures
serving
coming
us
up
some
here for Geralt
cheese.
too.
Yeah, some nice.
Still, by the way,
Wait,
is rocking
Gerald?
that Chihuahua in the tomato soup.
Future
or chocolate
right now
milk
is throwing out some
or whatever
cheese.
on the main Nexus. Still one of the most cursed clan decals I've ever seen.
Maybe last game, huh?
Yeah, I think this is a impossible win right now for the Protoss.
The Nexus is gone. We lost too
He's
many
trying his
probes.
best, but he must recognize that this is no longer really a position
Yeah, that's
that
not
he can
salvageable.
navigate his way out of. I mean, we can stay in the game, don't get me wrong. We can always try. He still has 1 base economy. Problem is, he still is contained. Like, he's still stuck
Yeah,
on
we
1
need,
base.
yeah.
Blink
that's
is coming up, so
Blink
he
is
could always
just-
get that upgrade and then try to leave the main base this way. Now, what Future is doing very
Future's
nicely
gotta
here
get a
is sending
confirmation
one of the barracks
scout.
back home and then the other one for scouting purposes towards the main.
I
of
do
the
too.
Protoss.
Arbiter's one of my favorite
We have a
StarCraft
Raven
1
on the back of
units.
this. We've got ourselves a Cyclone on the back of this too. That command center is slowly ticking away. By the time that Protoss
Because
is
they
going to
took
have
our
Blink
Arb.
done, Terran is going to be cruising with probably about double the supply count.
He's gonna check the. He's gonna see Blink.
The Raven here is good, by the way, not just for harassment, but also on the off chance, like, you know, what do you do if you're behind as a Protoss? When behind Dark Shrine, as the old adage goes, he's looking around now, he recognizes that there is the opportunity for that, but at this
There
rate, I
is,
don't think
but
it's
also
particularly
the-
significant. But you may as well keep the Raven at home.
There is a
Always
Raven,
send it
so-
across too for a little bit of harassment, but perfect scout here. Gateway goes down, and I guess we just try to make another Nexus? Yeah.
I
So now
know.
we're in that lull in Terran versus
I
Protoss,
wish that they
where
had Mama
Future is
shit back.
Basically, in an unlosable position. I mean, I could pull it off. But you really shouldn't be able to lose from this spot. But you also can't really go for an attack until Stimpak is finished.
Ah, stay hydrated.
So I think what you do is you go for Stimpak and then you hope for the best. You just send everything you got to watch the other side of the map. And you know what? You might even do an SCV all-in. Very similar spot again as in the previous game. Geralt has gone into a Templar Archives. He'll probably go into Storm again if possible. But at this point, the man has no units. Like, he's got 4 Stalkers and a Sentry, and I guess we're gonna try and get High Templar with Storm out of it.
What? You misread. Oh,
This
so
is,
you meant
a
Future?
very flimsy
Yeah,
defense
'cause-
for Geralt. But you know what? There's really no other way for him. Yeah, that upgrade, smash your piggy bank.
Well, Geralt has no
put a
choice
hole of
but
your
to
eggs
cheese
in
right
one
now.
basket, and then cross your fingers and hope the opponent
Templars.
stands
That
with
that
the
is
Storm.
the best hope that we got is the Storm.
That's the build order. That's the strat. Now, what's really kind of funny here is that Terran doesn't even need to go for a move out. He could just chill.
Chill,
He's
take a
got 10 workers ahead
third.
of the opponent, plus mules. You can't just wait for combat shields. You can get concussive shells
From
going
these
to
guys?
begin the metavic.
Yeah, I don't know either. I see a lot of draw here and there, but like not enough to know how they play. But also that just tells me that they're not as cheesy as I would, you know, want them to be. Because I kind of like recognize when there's a cheesy player.
That is basically what you can do right now as Future.
They stand out to me more.
Finals, it might not be a terrible idea. I think for Geralt, he should probably just sort of consider this game a loss already, at least mentally speaking, considering the rest of the finals. But just, you know, play it out and hope for the best, and maybe, just maybe, you can get lucky.
Oh, trapped him.
Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide.
Oh, he should have had one right over here. 3.
I mean, it's not a ton of damage, but he's rubbing salt in the wound. Look at the supply count right now. All right, here we go. Now we can go for the same attack and not even bring the boys. Although we could bring the boys too.
And medevacs.
Combat shields is just about to finish. Concussive shells is already done. There will be 2 storms or 3 storms maybe. He sees them coming in.
Oh, the Raven spawns the Templars.
And that is nice. All right.
Ooh, take down the Raven.
Donating at least
oh,
most
almost.
of the HP on the Raven too. But I mean, this is basically the entire.
Yeah, once you siege up right here, it gets.
Everything else is something you can just breeze through. Marauders in the front. There's one storm.
Try to get the Templars.
Nice done by Geralt. I mean, if you do win this as Protoss, I think as a Terran you're going to be devastated. This is the second storm.
Ooh, take that one tank, take out 2 tanks.
Third one.
But ooh, nice storms.
Oh, dude, you gotta be careful. You still have to respect it, man. These European
taking out those 2 tanks are big.
This is a man who's been forced to deal with this sort of thing for a long time now, and he's honestly navigating it quite well. We're like 1 or 2 storms away from this being approachable, let's say. Yeah, that was decent. It's just that on the back of this, I mean, maybe he should have brought the boys. On the back of this, there is still just so much Terran.
And a third.
Yeah, you can see that Future is a little concerned about the whole situation, though. He's uncertain about the.
Oh, he lost his tanks.
No. I'm gonna need a laugh track for my videos.
My paragraph?
I need to be like the Big Bang Theory. I need you to know when you. Yeah, no, I don't know. We can't. We can't. Ghost Academy coming up too. I mean, this seems a little unnecessary. I'm not gonna lie.
It would just be chill. It's just like a movie night. Just.
Never mind. He doesn't want to take a page out of.
Just chill. You know, just people watching movies and hanging out.
What you do is you just go kill him.
It's more of a social.
He doesn't want to blunder.
Hangout, I would say.
Full information, but if we just like split. Oh, well, that's one way of doing it. Oof, we don't mind. Soften up all the Templar, and now the Marauders are going in. Only 1 Templar remains. That was a nicely executed push there by Future.
Oh, those Templars. We had the Templars, but
Templar present,
they died.
This game can only end in a GG. Alrighty, next up, we find ourselves on the map Torches.
Yeah, just it's
looking
just supposed to be
around the
chill
left side of the
movie
map, making
night.
sure that there's no cheeky proxies, or maybe he's thinking about building something like that of his own. He doesn't know if it's going to be a Reaper first here. I did fast forward through the first 2 minutes.
If people are
just because everything here
spoiling
is
though,
very, very normal.
they could get kicked out.
Geralt is just kind of getting wrecked. However,
if they're just
he also
obnoxiously
hasn't really been able
spoiling
to get
things.
his own game going yet. And I feel like in a straight-up game, Geralt is likely the favorite. It's very difficult to beat a macro toss when they actually get their feet under them. So I really do think it's mostly going to come down to Future disrupting Geralt in any way possible
just in time.
early on. And if he gets that going, life is going to be good. But if Geralt gets to transition towards a nice mid-game...
So we do maybe a medevac Hellion drop?
It's just that Protoss early on is so freaking vulnerable. It's very tricky for Protoss to defend all of the different bits of shenanigans. Well, this time around, we're going to start up with a Hellion.
No, because if I wanted to watch the movie,
Obviously,
that
Widowmine
bad,
troops, though, still
I would watch it
certainly
by
on to the-
myself. You know what I
The
mean?
Adept is not likely to make it out. What about the Stalker, though? Stalker, yeah, is going to hunt down at least one of the units. It's going to go after Jimmy.
I wouldn't
too.
watch. I wouldn't choose to watch a movie that I like really want to watch without spoilers.
Certainly a target. Now there is a bunker,
So it's just gonna be more for casual, maybe movies that I haven't seen in a long time, or you guys haven't seen in a long time, and recommend.
Yeah, this is a good positioning on the Widowmine. It means that not only can this guy not escape, but it also means that the second Stalker can join in. Blink is coming, but I mean that's miles away at this point. Or maybe for Geralt, it's kilometers away.
Ooh!
Trying to, get the Stalker on the low ground to get the final shot on, but not gonna happen. Who knows what the Polish word for kilometer is?
And no one makes a sound. Yeah.
It's
just a chill hangout, you know.
Years, it's probably about a 20 character word.
It's not supposed to be like a
vowel.
serious, like,
That is kind of what Polish looks
fully
like
watch the movie religiously, you know, just
with very few vowels.
shoot some movies to share and hang out and enjoy,
anyway,
laugh a little bit, criticize a little
it's going to
bit.
be a good old observer here.
No spoilers though.
Robo facility in future
But,
is going to
you
use
know.
the leftover Hellion for a little bit of scouting. Widowmine drop is likely going to be one of his next plays. Yeah,
So
there
it'll
we go.
be just a time to
Matter of fact,
hang out
we did
and
make 4 Widowmines.
you know,
May as well give it a try. 3 additional bunkers
shoot
on
the
the back of this.
shit.
I guess at this point the question should become:
Some
will
people
we
hate it.
have a game throughout the
Yeah.
series?
Now if
where
I wanted to
Terran
do
has
something
3 command centers?
like watch a movie I really wanted to watch,
Place
I'd
your
watch it by
bets.
myself. Keep it, you know.
I'm gonna say yes, 1.
Oh, he
But
did
I
want
wouldn't
to
be
do the
surprised if
Hellion
we're gonna
drop.
just do 2 base play and 1 base play most of the entire
Ooh.
series long. Good interception so far by Geralt though. Anticipating this move, I mean he has seen the Widowmines.
Oh, it was a
And
Widowmine.
when there's smoke, there's fire. So he anticipated that indeed this would be the next move. Stalker and a pylon here on the perimeter too, so Geralt is going to be able to see this coming in from a
Oh,
mile away.
he'll do
Whilst
late.
expecting
Oh,
towards the 3rd.
he had a
Nicely
moment.
done.
He had a
And I'm
moment.
liking this start way more for Geralt now. But, again, we may just see the big all-in going across the map in a moment. That being said, we have a different playstyle this time around for Geralt. Rather than going into Storm, which is of course excellent against those SCV all-ins, Colossi are a good alternative play as well. This is now scouted here by Future.
There's a difference between thinking
Widowmine
something's
drop
gonna
does go
happen
in. So far,
and
not really any damage dealt
knowing
just
what's gonna
with
happen and then
2
spoiling it
workers,
for others. You know,
2 Widowmines,
it's kind of like
3 Widowmines.
4
Widowmines.
puzzle games.
That is not a good deal whatsoever. At
It's-
least the Medivac stays
It's
alive,
okay
but
for somebody to
not quite
guess
the damage that Future was hoping
because
for.
they don't
And
know.
when you don't get the damage that you're hoping
But if
for,
you already know
then
the
those
puzzle, you
all-ins
shouldn't say
will
nothing because you know
become
the
way harder
answer.
to
You
execute.
know? I think it's fine when you don't know the answer.
He has an observer out. One thing he doesn't have though is Colossus range. So the extended thermal lens is still an available upgrade in the Robo Bay. Geralt prioritizing just more stuff, which is fair enough. Charge is about, I want to say, halfway done. Yeah, we still don't have a 3rd CC, so what we have is just a stupid amount of marine production on 2 bases. And
Oh, there goes
we
the
are gonna
SCV
send
pool.
the boys again.
Let's go.
I would like to imagine every single one of those SCVs with headphones on and playing the Imperial March. Here we go.
I mean, look, the Terran's trying to get a 3rd. Or even if the Terran's trying to get a 3rd, Protoss already has a 3rd droning up. You got the Templars with the energy. It's not that easy against, for a Terran to get over to the other side of the map without the Terran, without the Protoss knowing what's going to happen. So, I mean, you kind of have to do stuff like this.
Go to the other side of the match. Or the other side of the map, rather. It is up to the SCVs.
You gotta be careful of
to
those
take the
Colossus,
damage.
though.
The Colossus are here to roast. Charge is seconds away from finishing. We have a load of additional gateways too, and so far, phenomenal start right here for Geralt. We do have a slow push with bunkers though, which is always sketchy. Those siege tanks are having a grand old time. A couple Marines get split off from the pack. They're gonna try and work on this base, and despite the good start, I mean, this is still so fishy.
Yeah,
Future
yeah,
just
not
slow
enough
pushing
tanks.
his
We
way
already
towards that ramp. It is
lost
tough.
half of our
Stalkers go around the site again.
resources.
Try to see if
Ooh.
it could intercept some of those units. Probes in the meantime have escaped. Getting some of the reinforcing troops over here though is lovely. Geralt recognized the slow push. Is there enough? There is also a sentry.
Oh, we don't even have a high ground vision unless we're up there. We gotta
Scan.
scan.
Stalkers in the meantime all the way down south, picking up the reinforcements. What about the push up
Those
towards the high
Colossus.
ground though? A lot of SCVs have died, of course, and while some of them are working away at the third nexus, Future now basically is mining for like one base and a little bit. So 2 bases is still better than 1 and a little
Those
bit.
tanks are good as long as you keep them alive.
Forced the entirety of the low ground to be evacuated. Comes down to the Colossus control, really. Those
The
Colossi
tank
are
control
gonna
and the
have a grand
Colossus
old
control.
time biting their way through all of those Marines. As long as the siege tanks are here, though, it's difficult for them to move forward. Now the ranged upgrade starts up. I think Geralt probably meant to make that a little while ago. Kind of preoccupied
Ooh,
with
losing
all
one
the other
tank.
stuff. He does decide to
But
pull the
that's
trigger.
it's just
Honestly,
one
a
tank.
little earlier than I would have liked to see. Siege tank still putting
Ooh, we
in
ran
work.
in
One
too
of the
quick.
Colossi does fall. Second
But-
Colossus also dies. This is finicky, but
Oh, ran right
Geralt can't
into
really be
all the
giving up on his
Colossus. Should have let the
second
tanks
base.
take care of it. Oh, that was
He's got
painful.
so many workers still available. Honestly, you may as well make a Nexus over here if you have the minerals for it. With range, I think with Colossus range there, that particular attack was halted much more cleanly. Ultimately, though, I think the defense is good enough here for Protoss. This is not really a
Pick 'em up and drop 'em.
Terran strategy that has a lot of longevity built into it, right? So if you have to retreat and then try to macro your way up again, as we go to the healing circle, that's kind of fun. We rarely see the healing shrine coming into effect, but you know what? It's one way of getting the job done. He has now found the probes in the middle of the map. They had been AFKing for a while already, but yeah. I think the Stalkers probably got recalled back home. Full HP.
You're gonna be playing
Now to be
today
up to
or just
Geralt to
watching?
try and see if he can
After
lurk on the
this,
other side of the map and
after a few of
potentially
these
win the
games, I'm gonna
game.
get a
He
little
does
bit of
decide to
sleep
now,
when I
think,
wake up.
rebuild
I'm
the
gonna be
third
laddering,
Nexus.
yeah.
He's got a stupid amount of gas in the bank.
But right now, I'm just
I think
chilling.
having a Templar Archives, even if it's not for Storm, but just for Archon production here, would be phenomenal, as he does now catch the siege tanks in the middle of the map on siege, and I think that may be all she wrote. I mean, Future still has units. He just doesn't have a good economy.
Yeah, I've been awake.
And ultimately, he is fighting tier 3 units with tier 1.
We're doing the
Now,
movies,
the Marines are good, but
and then
not
I
good
was
enough. GG.
trying to make some
Are
like
we
music,
alternating? Future, is that what we're doing?
some beats,
We do an SCV all-in into
and
a
then I
proxy
couldn't sleep,
barracks,
so I
into an
figured I'd
SCV
stream
all-in
for a little
into
bit, hang
proxy
out with you
barracks. Is
guys.
that what we're doing?
I don't usually
Okay.
stream
Next
too
up, we
often
find
at
ourselves on the
this
map
time,
Tokamak.
so I figured say hello to people on this side of the
Future,
world.
I mean, it's only going to be a single barracks this time around. Has decided to go straight across the map again. Geralt, though, looking around.
But yeah, I'm gonna be laddering,
making
but
sure that
after
there
I
is
wake up.
nothing fishy happening on his side of the map. Let's see. What can we do? It is double barracks, though. Or double gas, rather, inside of the main base. Single barracks.
Yeah.
So I have to keep an eye out
If you
on
guys
exactly what the
comment
plan
my
here is in the
videos
future,
more
but
often,
I'm
I'll
thinking
ladder
he's
more
gonna be
often.
proxying all of the things. We're not just gonna leave it with a
So
Reaper
that's one way
army.
to get me to ladder more.
Maybe we are.
Just comment my videos.
Comment
Sometimes
section
I'm
below
gonna
is a
ladder and
nice
I'm like
idea, but when you
looking
have
at my
this much
comments and
gassing,
they're
well, you really
empty, and
can't
I'm like,
afford a Nexus
maybe
or a
maybe next
center here,
time.
so. Yeah, Geralt is scouting right now. He sees the one gas. He probably believes that this could be some sort of CC first play, but now he realizes that it's not. Factory goes down at home. Okay. So this is really just to get
Ooh,
that really quick
that
Reaper
bunker
across
up.
the map, which I think will suit Geralt just, or this will, yeah, this will suit Geralt just fine. Wow, really? Never mind.
Marauder?
It is not just going to be a quick Reaper. I mean, it is a quick Reaper, but then the follow-up is likely going to be
Oh,
a little bit of shenanigans with Marauders as well. Some fresh American cheese being cooked up. Not bad, honestly.
we're probably gonna see battery
haven't
shield
been to
because
the
we're
States in a
expecting
while.
something.
But I always do like hanging out there and eating copious amounts of calories. I've made like a bit of a rule with myself, I suppose.
Fresh
that
American chains.
whenever I do get to go to the US, which is not very frequent at all, and it's usually only a couple of days, but I don't think about calories at all. I just eat. I think if I were to live in the States, I would probably balloon up real quick if I did that. But
I think fresh. I think he meant like fresh American, like cheese, maybe.
Let's
What
see
he
how
meant.
this goes, though. It's been a little while, actually. I'm trying to think when it was. Actually, last year around March, went to the 10 Cent Studios actually for Battle Aces, but sadly that game ended up getting canceled.
Marauders.
Either way, here's the push. Future has brought whatever he's got right now across the map. Trying to see if he can maybe just snipe the game straight up. But this is always a difficult defense.
Draining all the energy.
Bunch of shield batteries coming up on the back of this.
I like the Hellions. The Hellions are very cost effective, but they also get to the other side of the map quick enough to support. And if the worker rush, if the workers come in, they'll nibble.
And he's already used the energy recharge ability. Trying to just keep as many of those shields recharging as possible.
Ooh.
Future with another dirty all-in.
Oh, the batteries though.
Additional batteries are here, but there's so much firepower coming out of this Terran army that it's difficult to hold on, and not a whole lot of units are getting sniped yet, although now a Marauder and a Hellion both died. Is this recoverable for Geralt? I mean, he's got so few troops. Even the probes are joining in right now.
Oh, but the battery,
the
heals.
Fire.
Now you got
Here,
heals.
right? The Medevac is going to add so much micro potential
Yeah,
here
so
to
much
this
value.
I don't think it's doable. Nope. Future with another NA special is going to show us why these builds are to be respected. And while this one is, in particular, a little bit weird, Reaper into Proxy Marauder into Hellion production at home, it is a good old one base that can deal a lot of damage.
Probes going in.
Alrighty, next up, the map is Ultra Love, and this is match point here for Future. Well, I guess we're not building anything on the other side of the map this time around, so that must mean that we are gonna go for some sort of SCV pool, right? Looking at the themes so far throughout this series, we alternate SCV all-ins with proxies. Very nice. Very nice. It's really fun to me how like every server in StarCraft 2 has a different playstyle, right? And I think most people would agree that like, the top 3 players in the world are probably right now Serral, Clem, MaxPax, something along those lines, right? Like for each of the 3 races. So most of the time that more passive, macro, laid-back style that those players like to go for, you would imagine that is the go-to approach for pretty much everybody, right? Because if you're trying to be the best, why not try to copy the very best?
Well, not everybody wants to play a boring playstyle, you know? So I think that's the answer. I wouldn't say it's boring, but like when you only do it over and over again and you don't try to have a variety because of the meta, that's what I mean boring. Not that it's boring in the first part, but boring that it's repetitive. So I feel like other people like to try play StarCraft the way it should be.
A bit of a different approach. The Koreans, especially when you're trying to rank up, very cheesy. In general, though,
yeah, repetitive.
Level, very crazy.
I mean, we just saw we just saw the finals to Serral versus Classic, and Classic did the same build over and over again, adapt play over and over again, same build, more or less. So yeah, repetitive gets boring. It's fun, the build's fun until you do it 100,000 times and then it becomes boring. So it's like what Local was saying is, I don't know why people don't copy the top best players, you know. But yeah, you're just going to do the same thing over and over again. Like, is that really worth doing if it's going to keep you from actually playing StarCraft the way you want to? The game should have a more wider way of doing different tactics than just doing one over and over again just because it's optimal. You know, you just play like a machine and that's it.
Right? They play these weird, wild, gambling
just
strategies all
repetitive.
the time. Apparently, if a coin flip is all you can aim for, well, that's what you end up.
I hate when newbies defend my cheese and fortune to
banking
macro.
all your wins in, and it's a little
But at
bit
least you know
funky.
your macro,
The American
or
server, though,
you're
a
learning
little
your
bit more
macro.
aggressive in the earlier stages, in particular.
It's important to be a cheeser and know how to
That's very
macro.
good. Stalker, in the meantime, on the other side of the map, being a bit frustrating. Even though this isn't the fastest possible expansion for Terran, there isn't quite enough here for Future to really keep the command center alive for now. Cyclone is available though, and that means you have to run. No, you can run, but you cannot hide.
Ooh.
Decided to move up to the high ground there, which I kind of like.
You didn't catch him.
Finish, yeah. High ground did cut the leash right there for that Cyclone for just a little bit, as we have the Adept now swooping in, trying to delay this a little bit more. But I think ultimately it means that the Adept is also likely to die, and with it, the Probe also mispositioned for some reason is going to fall. So, I mean, it is a nice delay right here by Geralt, but by no means the most successful opener here for Protoss
Like
whatsoever.
15-20 minute games, TBTs.
Cloak Banshees.
Just a tank field.
All of
Tank
this,
versus tanks.
a little out of the ordinary. Okay.
To me, it's like tank Vikings, tank Vikings.
Future just fishing right now. This is the equivalent of Terrans throwing out their...
Because all the Terrans want to do is take 3 bases.
throwing out their fishing rod and hoping something gets within range of the Cyclone lock-on. Not going to happen. Nah, Cyclone's nice. Lock-on here,
Banshee.
also very strong, and that might be the end of another Stalker. You do have to run with that Cyclone, dude. Can we please send the Cyclone home? Ay, ay, ay. Future playing with fire here.
Oh,
Link is now done. And so is the cloaking field. Future trying to see if he can go around and maybe force this Protoss army to go back.
Randy said, I'm
It is
trying a
only
3
single
tech lab
Banshee,
racks
so
right now.
Shield battery is still going to
Siege
be enough
tank,
to defend for now.
Marines, can't hold the early aggression.
I don't know if he's shown
Concussion
the
shells
cloak.
are
Has he shown the
basically a
cloak?
requirement to hold the stalkers back.
Either
Yeah,
way,
yeah,
there's
it's
very little detection available at this point in time for Geralt, who really
it's a tough one these days with the battery overcharge to do pressure.
ASAP. Well, now he knows the cloak is here, and that is going to be the end of the third Nexus.
You have to be
Really
very
no way to keep this
fine-tuned.
alive.
Or send the boys.
Nicely done here by Future. Future honestly playing some very good games. Oh,
Ooh.
decisively hit. He really wants to keep this third Nexus alive, and he is ready to pay the price for it. Stalkers,
Dang, he
though,
lost a
are
lot of
dropping
stalkers,
like
though.
flies. The siege tanks are gone, so maybe he can keep it alive, but the question is, at what cost? Future will happily gobble up all of these units and then still take down the third Nexus.
But Protoss is on
Not
2
looking
bases,
good
so he
right here for Geralt.
can still good overall.
Yeah, that is going to be the
but-
end of that Nexus. And Future right now is smelling blood in the water.
The Future's
As
on
well
2
as the lion's
bases.
share of about $6,000, right? Well, the problem here for him is that he's executing this attack off of a very low worker count. So even though this isn't really an all-in, it is a very committed push. He's only got 37 workers on the back of this,
Ooh.
which is still not quite enough to really match that of the Protoss. Close
Ooh.
Banshees here are nice. One of the Banshees is going to die, but they've been sniping a lot of important units. In the meantime, Geralt has snuck out another expansion just to the left. The Future hasn't seen it. Backup pylon is already set up here. A backup to the backup pylon has already been produced as well. So at the very least, the Immortal can continue producing. Immortal does fall before killing the siege tank, but the
Nice,
Stalkers
taking out the siege
coming
tank.
in from the back. An absolute clown fiesta of a game here. Future though, yeah, I think is
That's a lot
gonna
of
be forced to
stalkers.
retreat. Observer, by the way, did die. So there's really no way to push these Banshees away. But if they're constantly retargeting, it's difficult to achieve much. Couple reinforcing tanks on the high ground here again, trying to just put in whatever work they can. Could we please make a new observer? Yeah, he already did make one, but ended up losing it.
Gotta be careful.
And honestly, it might be time to give up on this position, Future. I've got a feeling this is not going to get much better. Future doesn't know about the third Nexus. If he knew about the third Nexus, maybe he would reroute his attack in this direction instead, but he was trying to see if he could win the tournament right here, right now, and it seems to me that eventually, even though Geralt lost a lot, he has somewhat managed to stabilize.
Want to see
and I feel like this
play
is the first time
StarCraft?
throughout this series that we have a
Sometimes we play team games.
transition right now for Future.
You might see Tiare play some team
What does
games.
the future hold for him? Where do okay, sorry.
She whoops
Where
ass
do we
too.
take this game from here? So we go Stimpec, we go +1. Do we add on just more production and pull the boys? Is that the plan? I think that is the plan. There will certainly be High Templar with Storm done though, if Geralt decides to prioritize it.
Oh no, those are Banshees.
Banshees coming in again. Observer, where's the Observer? We have 2.
What up, dope?
One on the other side of the map, one inside of the main base. Recall been used, but he actually just got... No, it did actually complete the recall. Interestingly enough.
Those Banshees can go in there and do some SCV work. Those probe works.
And this game is slowly starting to look a little less stable here for the Terran player. Still,
it's always stable
for
for a Terran player compared to a Protoss.
Stimpec, combat shields, +1 infantry. All of the upgrades will finish up right within the next 30 or next minute or so, right within a 30-second window of one another.
Oh, we're sending the boys?
No,
we're repairing.
They like with that particular push. Problem: all of the attacks that he has to execute on the other side of the map will be up a ramp, and that is just harder. There will be plenty of Storm available. Can we please chrono it once or twice? Because I think Geralt is a little bit late on that Templar archives, but he should have started up the research a while ago already. As long as Geralt can defend the incoming attack here from the Terran player, it should be fine. Here's the main army moving out. I'm assuming, yep, we are bringing the boys.
Oh, yeah.
Again.
Again.
Future really putting the Cheesadelphia in Cheesadelphia, huh? None of the games so far have been straightforward. Now, Geralt sees this coming in from a mile away. I mean, if the previous games were anything to go off of, he could sort of expect it. There is an Immortal, or actually an Arc.
Oh, that's a good spot. A little closer up.
Ooh, 4 Templar. Can we please pick up the 1 Templar there? Oh,
oh.
No, loses it just barely in the nick of time. A little bit clumsy there, honestly. If I'm being critical of Geralt, could have certainly kept that one alive. Here we go again.
Yeah, that was a bit
Future
risky.
going in for a bunker push for all the marbles. 4 pylons just about to finish up for Geralt, who
Banshee's in the main base.
block. He's got a stupid amount of resources in the bank. Finally, he can make units again. Starts up 1 Stalker. Oh, it's because the pylons in the main base have been shut down. Those Banshees going around the site, really limiting the amount of production for Geralt, who should be able to produce enough units to wipe this Terran player off the map, but he's sitting on too much cash. We have a Storm Drop, though. We have a Storm Drop attempted. There we go. Not a bad start.
Ooh.
Does lose one of the Templar in
lost
the
the
process,
Banshee.
but that was pretty good.
Lost another Storm.
As far as softening up
Ooh,
this
another
Terran
Storm.
army goes. Future loses a bunch of units here. This Marauder gets sliced in half. There is, of course, that energy recharge, right, which just makes the defense so much more manageable.
Oh, that Immortals
spawns,
here.
But apparently this is when Geralt decides to pull the trigger. 1,500 minerals in the bank or not.
Ooh,
The
storms.
High Templar decide to drop right next to a bunch of the siege tanks, so the siege tanks can't actually fire properly.
Templars
It is a
take out the
clumsy
tanks.
engagement, but good enough here for Geralt, it seems to me.
Ooh, another Storm. And the Mortals here. Mortals gonna help out.
I think he can get the job done here. Reinforcements.
Couple
coming in.
medevacs getting sniped.
Lost way too much stuff. GG.
That was a good attempt. That was... It could have been both sides.
Incorporeal is next. Now, Incorporeal features a dead end. A random
No production,
map that
imagine.
doesn't
And
go
even
anywhere.
with... That was
We
pretty
should have a
good.
traffic
Some of
sign
those
over here, but
pylons.
Future apparently does not care. He decides to
We've got a
proxy a
proxy.
factory very close to the main base.
Oh,
of
a
the
factory
Protoss
play.
Player. Match point number
Wonder if we're
2
gonna
right
float.
now,
We're gonna
40
float it,
American.
maybe.
Can he win the tournament?
We could float it. Usually, you build a factory there to float it.
I kind of love it. Very fun to see. If you're unfamiliar with the name Future, I mean, I feel like this series so far is giving you an excellent introduction on the style that the man is not afraid to employ. I've actually seen him play macro games in the past. Maybe those were more common back in the day. I don't know. So far, though, it seems to me that he's trying to see if he can end the series
He's trying to distract
in
them
the next couple of minutes
while the factory
every
lands on
single
the
game.
main base. The other thing is losing the Reaper is important too, or if not losing the Reaper, making sure that the Reaper is in an area where it's not over here. Because if not, Protoss will be over here. In this case, it'll be over here, but still a little close. So you definitely don't want them to be up here waiting for a Reaper to go up. You might get scouted. So
what we've done, let me actually back up here for a second. What we've done here, that Reaper was a distraction. The factory gets flown from the logo.
well, I usually go in with the Reaper to go around and do a little lap to see if there's a pylon over here as well, because Protosses do a pretty good job putting pylons in different areas. And you don't want your your factory to get scouted, because then it makes it harder to, transition in this area if you see a pylon up there. So with the Reaper, you can go up there, do a quick loop, just make sure that there's nothing in this area, and then create the distraction and then float over here. The fact that you came over here and the stalker follows you and there's nothing here, and then you go around and the stalker goes away, it kind of allows the player to feel like they already checked that area. Even though they didn't check it specifically, they checked it because they were following your Reaper and they just happen to see that there's nothing there. So it's kind of like a psychological battle that you could do. But that's what I do. Reaper comes in, scouts around, check there's the pylon or no pylon. There's no pylon, hide it, get some Hellions. But if it's a pylon, you'd go over here, land it, get a tech lab, maybe go into Thor play. Or if you're going to try to do some Widow Mines or Hellions,
into the main base of Protoss. This is technically one of the dumbest builds you can go for, but you know,
I don't know why Loco always calls things dumb. He always insults everything that's not standard. I don't know why. But
what? If you can make a bunch of Hellions, yeah, and you can do so completely out of sight of the Protoss, you can just roast every single one of those probes. It is dirty. Now, in order to one-shot...
Couldn't he have just counted the pylons when the Reaper went in the front? You could try to count the pylons to see how many pylons would normally be there. But Protoss is also feel like there's, at times, they set a pylon here anyways, and you never know if they're being optimal or if they're being cautious. But some players put a pylon right here. Some players put a pylon in a gateway right here instead. They put it in an area where it's visible for this area. So it varies. You know, it's best to go in there with the Reaper and just either count the pylons. But for me, there's no reason to not go over here with the Reaper anyways, whether you're pylon scouting or counting. Because you never know if there's somebody who's going to randomly put a pylon here because they've already been rushed too many times and they're already, over it. You never know. Or if there's a stalker right here waiting for a Reaper to come in and then you lure them away. So I like to personally go in there, get the scout, just check if there's anything over here that's structure, it's going to see me, and then that's it. That's just the way I do it. I'd rather be safe.
Which is a lot. Takes a while. There's really no point in committing with.
Yeah, I usually go reactor though, because at least with the reactor you could get some Hellion numbers.
It just means that the odds of you getting,
because then you can get Widow Mines.
It goes up significantly. Hallucinated Phoenix is gonna be sent across the map. He will see that everything looks reasonably normal. I mean, this kind of looks like a triple wreck start, I guess. If you kind of squint, you don't pay very close attention. Do we go for 3? No, we go for 2 and a Widow Mine. This is odd, though. First time that Geralt sees it. Crisis management is
probe counting and pylon scouting.
First wave of units going down. One of the Hellions gets surrounded. Good force field.
The only thing about probe,
I think that final little wave there.
The only problem about pylon scouting is that at the higher level, players hide the pylons so they can fool the Terran player or whatever players they're against. So pylon counting sometimes gets countered by a hidden pylon. It throws the player off, makes them think that they're, something else is going on, when in reality the pylon is just hidden somewhere. So that can happen too. Yeah, but some people come in the ramp at a certain time and they probe count, and they see if there's any probes missing that would normally be consistent of a macro play. And whenever there's missing probes, that's also a red flag for people that come in. They probe count.
Does justify a lot more.
I think probe counting
Gerald's
is a
gotta
little
be
bit
wondering
more
right now, where did
efficient
these units come from? He's like,
in
oh my
identifying
God.
something than pylon
freaking
scouting, because of the
Americans,
fact
man.
that they hide.
Americans always very polite, always very nice, but when you meet them on the ladder,
Oh, right into the
that is one hell of
gas.
a way to save a
Tricky.
probe. Rarely do we see that. That was kind of cute, honestly, from Gerald.
Or even by
Saves
adding
the
a normal
probe and
amount of
pumping it into the
pylons.
assimilator at the perfect timing.
Just by
Nicely
proxying,
done.
I saw a pro player do exactly that once while
Yeah,
proxying
Americans
ETs.
always very nice,
Yeah.
but apparently when you meet them on the StarCraft 2 ladder,
Definitely.
they get vicious.
They hide the pylon, the first
Let's
pylon. Terrence tries to
Dude, I
pylon
remember
count.
the first time I ever went
and
over to the
then
States, and I wasn't like a
they
random
do some
grocery
cheese
store because I
behind
wanted to
it.
get some water because I wasn't sure if you could drink the water. Anyways, I remember this lady on the counter. She asked like, "How do you do? How are you doing?" And she was very excited about me being in the store. Me as a Dutchman, I'm not used to that at all. Nobody in a grocery store in the Netherlands will ask me how I am doing. Okay, this is not.
She could have just been a
This is not. She
good,
was like, "Were you able to
interesting
find everything?
social
like,
person,
how
though.
are you doing? Like, how's everything going?" I wasn't sure.
like it's. I think that's totally normal because it depends on the person. If you catch me at my job on a daytime when it's daytime, like if I deal with customers, I'm a very like open person, very helpful, very like, you know, explain everything and whatever, you know, go above and beyond. But that's just because that's just my personality. So I feel like he just ran into somebody that just has that same personality. That person's just very outgoing and helpful. But I guess you don't run into too many people that are like that. Definitely not in my store as well.
How to respond to that question. Now, I have learned since then that in the States, a perfectly reasonable response to the question, "How are you?" is to
Fine.
reply by saying, "How are you?"
No, it's just saying I'm
Completely
fine.
normal sentence.
You just say I'm
Reminds me a
fine.
lot of French.
How are you?
I remember in my French class back in school, they used to teach me that, like, in order to ask how somebody is doing in French, you would ask "Ça va?"
Ça va
And
bien?
you could answer by saying
Ça va bien.
Perfectly normal. You can do the same thing in the States. It's beautiful.
Well, ça va just means like how are you? That's what ça va means. But you could say ça va bien, ça va pas mal, ça va très bien. But you don't usually just say ça va to say ça va. You don't say ça va, ça va. No, you just say I'm good, I'm okay. You don't just say I'm, you know? How are you? How are you? That doesn't make sense. You just say ça va bien or comme ci comme ça, très bien. But I don't. My teacher never showed me when you say ça va, you say ça va as well, and that's it. You usually ended with you know, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm okay.
How are you? How are you? You could ask, "I'm great." You could just say nothing. and would
How are
probably
you?
be
How are
okay.
you? How are you?
travel-
How are you? How are you? Well, I'm okay, but how are you? How are you? Like, you gotta, you know? You can't answer a question with the question.
Across the ocean for the very first time,
Ça
I
va,
didn't quite
yeah.
realize.
Ça va in French is, you know, is how are you? It's ça va.
That "how are you" is basically just the equivalent of saying hello. I was like, I don't know. How do I respond to this question? Is she asking how I'm feeling, or is she just being nice? Anyways, we have a group of Marines going in clutch.
Oh,
Future trying to
getting
see
some
if we could
workers.
stem into the base, but this is feeling like some desperate pushes. I mean,
Yeah,
he does
you
have
got
a nice
workers.
supply advantage, I suppose. He is once more sending the units in, but I'm a little afraid that he should have joined those Marines up with the main squad instead.
Ça va. Depends on the dialect in the States too. Yeah. I just never heard it in regards to like Maybe through slang. Maybe it's a slang thing in France. If they say ça va and someone says ça va. But I think, yeah, I'll just at least say something like, I'm fine, I'm okay, or comme ci, comme ça.
Yeah, it means that this attack is not going to be able to achieve too much. It means that the Stalkers can now also go across, and the Colossus production can begin. I mean, Future still has a supply advantage, and would you look at that? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody watching, we have ourselves a third command center for the first time in his entire series. That's crazy. Some nice micro here by Geralt, though.
Yeah.
Who I think will be very
Future
happy
probably
to see
feels
another
like
CC.
he did enough damage.
Like, he's literally not seen one in
It's
his
pretty
entire
cool how many
grand final
paths there
so
are
far.
to the same information in this game.
It's not really a build for Terran players to build a CC
longevity.
and then cancel it. We see that from Protoss from time to time, but I don't believe that's what we got.
Yeah,
in this particular game.
StarCraft's
No,
really
Future
good.
is actually playing
It's pretty
for
balanced.
A little bit of macro. He's trying
Could
to
be a
get
little
the job
crazier,
done
a little
by playing
cuckoo,
a bit of a longer game.
but
I feel like this is
overall,
gonna be really tough against somebody like Geralt.
you know,
I mean, Geralt so far,
compared to
though,
most
honestly,
RTS
a little
games,
bit
it's
clumsy throughout
pretty
these
balanced.
games. I'm just kind of basing my comments on Geralt so far from some of the previous matches I've seen him play so far this year, and he looked really strong and very clean in the execution. I feel like across the board so far, yeah, we have a little bit more wiggle room for, let's say, saving minerals and gas. Anyway, it means that Geralt gets to play
What
the
up,
game that he's
Acronym?
been practicing most of the
What are
year
you
long.
up to?
And it'll be up to Future to try and
Just
deny
waking
it.
up
At
with
this
your
point, though,
coffee?
economically speaking, Future is fine. He doesn't really need to go
Hope
for
you're
this
feeling-
push, but he's got the units and he
hope
may
you're
as
feeling
well.
good.
Little medevac drop straight to the main base.
Loco,
Straight out of Bjorn's playbook.
Loco Flow.
Even out of Clem's. This actually is a pretty
Low
conservative
flow.
push, I suppose. Moving in. Tries to go after a bunch of the ESCVs or a bunch of the probes here, but they have snuck away already.
Pick him
Now
up.
the multitasking will
No.
begin, it seems. Is there enough for Protoss to clean this up? Yes. But what about this fight over here on the right? I think if Future
Uh-oh.
moves in, he might just be able to
Take out a
shut
couple
down at least some of
workers.
the mining over here. Not bad. We do have a recall now towards this Nexus, but it's only 3 Zealots. Apparently enough to scare this Terran army away. I always like those fake outs. As we have the medevac drop continuing in, Future decides to stim with all of the units that he's got. Nice force field over there. New Colossus just popped out of the robo facility. That force field
Ooh.
just saved Geralt. Without that force field, I think all the Colossi would have died. And with it, probably the chances in this series. Whew. Geralt just barely keeping it around. Okay. Would you look at that? A Ghost Academy. We haven't seen a single Ghost yet in this entire series.
EMP.
despite the fact that
I mean,
it's
if
one
you
of the
get to
most
mid game,
complained about units in the game.
you should get a ghost if
It's
you're a Terran
actually-
player.
Like, I see a lot of people always complain about the Ghost, even post-nerf.
Ghosts are pretty
But
good.
it's actually not entirely common anymore in this matchup. Like, they're obviously important, especially like when you go up to like this phase in the game. It's just that the majority of games seem to end before this point.
Getting ghosts is like
All right.
Zerg
Well,
getting
the rock tower is
Vipers.
gonna get
It's a
destroyed, and That is
must.
going to make this ramp a little bit more protected.
It's around 1600. So, a road
Bunch of
trip in
units
6
going around.
hours. 15-hour drive? Damn. Try to get
Boys.
a lot of rest for that much of a
Please,
ride.
I've seen the videos of people getting stuck, okay? I watched this video once of this lady who was stuck in a washing machine. Anyways, maybe we can... Okay, yeah, use the medevac. There you go. Get
Those
it.
videos are not.
Get
Those
it.
are naughty.
All right, let's see.
Naughty videos.
Gateway's coming up.
No, he probably
Would you
meant
look at that?
an
A
actual
disruptor.
person getting stuck in the washer.
Now,
The
of course, this is
dryer,
that phase in the game
I
where
would
something
say,
like Clem
makes
is an absolute
sense.
monster, because just micro better and you'll be fine.
Which
It's just that
shouldn't
if
make
you're not
sense.
Clem, this phase in the game is super difficult for Terrans, because the Protoss army gets way more complex. You get multiple sources of splash damage. The amount of micro you have to pull off is extremely finicky. There's also going to be Zealot run-bys right now, which will draw your attention away from the main fight. This is not a bad start, though. Future
make sure you get enough energy and restroom break, drain everything.
Vikings not microed properly at all, and that means that the
pick up and go. Pick up to the main.
Future needed to pull back those Vikings, did not quite achieve it in time. Jimmy apparently did not quite make the pickup.
Like, hey, where you at?
He decided to scan to see if there's an observer nearby, but he recognized that the Protoss army
he's getting faked out.
Decides to retreat. Fourth Nexus goes up in the top right. Geralt, though, still more than 30 supply here behind, or, well, now he is. Dipping in and out of the 30 supply mark, and that is significant because the Terran army is just freaking huge. 65 versus 104 right now in the supply count for armies. It means that Geralt is kind of stuck on his 3 bases. Goes around the site, though, gets a Marauder and a Marine or so.
Oh, EMPs.
Full, and the fourth Nexus likely will not be around for much longer. It does mean that Future's army is kind of stuck over here in the top right.
Yep, EMPs.
But I don't think Geralt has enough firepower to really take the fight straight up against that amount of Terran.
That flow energy.
We've got ourselves an armory. Second engineering bay.
Yeah,
At this rate,
well, I'm going to get some sleep in a little bit, but then I'll be on to ladder when I wake up.
Not quite there yet, but we have ourselves a 4th command center together with a 4th
after this series.
Future is still in a really nice position. Really, the only thing that's missing out of his army right now is a whole load of Liberators.
It's a big series, best of 7.
But he's got the Ghosts, he's got the Vikings. I wouldn't mind seeing an extra starport.
EMP?
Liberators are going to seal the deal if you can get up to that point, and Future has all of the tools available to him right now. It's just that, again, it's a difficult Terran army to play, and a very difficult Protoss army to play against. Tries to EMP, did not quite get it down.
Missed it.
Geralt is missing a bunch of meat in his army, right? Like, we have a lot of very nice spell casting here, but there's, yeah, there we go. We really need more Stalkers and Zealots.
And we try to EMP everything, but
we have a lot of potatoes, very little meat. Anyways, Nova.
Ooh.
Okay, gets a pretty decent hit.
Those Vikings, nice storm on the Vikings, but the Colossus.
Will be able to kill the
all the Vikings need to do is take out the Colossus.
7 Vikings have died, 3 Colossi. Still a good ratio, of course, for Terran, who's now flying the command center on over towards the 4th base location.
Yeah, I'll put some flow tunes.
+1 air coming
some
up
flow
here
jams.
for the flying units. 2-2 also researching for Terran. Second robo coming up for Geralt, who keeps on adding on disruptors.
Set up flow jams,
Archons, little Zealot run-bys. Okay. Yeah, even though this is a position that you can find yourself in as a Terran player, and even though technically it is favored for Terran, it's favored for the Clems of this world. It's not so straightforward if your name does not start with a C and ends with Lem. Planetary Fortress, though, is nice. He did reposition the CC, it looks like. Knocking down rocks because he can. So Geralt has a couple different options to play late game. Alternatively, from playing Mass Stalker like this, he can transition as well towards, for example, Skytos. We don't see it much anymore these days, despite the fact that the Tempest is way easier to get into, being a bit supply lighter than it once used to be. It's still not a transition Protoss players are particularly fond of. Still only a single starport, right? Do we just have 1 starport? Yeah. I really would like to see a second starport about now. I think it makes a lot of sense.
It's 7 a.m. there by you?
Yeah,
7 right now, 6:59.
Nova is sent forward, but
I gotta get some sleep in a little bit.
There is another Nexus now, and you know what? The supply advantage was nice. So we have some good damage being done here too by a Templar. The supply advantage was nice once upon a time
the
for
heck
Future,
out of the first one,
but now that window is closed. Ultimately, Geralt now is maxed out. He's got more resources in the bank than the Terran. I gotta compliment the way that he's playing it.
You never played StarCraft 2? You should. The campaigns are good too, but
into
you jump into some team games.
Still though, starport coming up together with a fusion core now. These are a little late.
Unless you're competitive, you can get into 1v1s.
Still, this is going to be Future preparing to transition towards Liberators, but I feel like Geralt has way more experience playing this style. This is a normal game on the EU server, and one that, well, occurs on NA2. but not quite as frequently.
Ooh,
So
nice
nice
EMP.
storms going down, softening up a lot of these units. Even though they didn't really die, it means that the Colossi have a more likely chance to live. Dark Shrine coming. +2 air also on the production tab. We have the Terran now.
Ooh, nice
down
EMP.
the ramp, but this choke point is always tough, and those storms are juicy. He's here to kill the Nexus. Does not quite achieve that job.
Always
The
welcome.
Vikings here
Oh,
also
the
get
Vikings.
Knight.
They take out the Vikings. The Colossus is
Well,
still
hits a lot of
alive.
units in the far top right now. We do have a recall
I don't know
completing
about that
in this
one.
section. It's just a
He
bunch
wanted
of
to take out that
stalkers, but
base.
enough to keep that Terran army occupied over there. What about the main fight here on the left? It looks
I
like
don't know.
Future
The
may have
disruptors are ready
overstayed some
to
of his
pounce
units, or
if he
at the very
if he
least,
really
one of them took
engages.
some equal bruising. Nice little bit of stutter step. What about these medevacs? Okay, they do decide to unload. Stalkers were getting dangerously close. There is now a new command center in the far bottom left. This is the first time Geralt has properly moved out onto the map with a large portion of his army.
He's trying to get the disruptors,
storms
but he
are
can't.
lethal. Now they're out of energy though, and High Templar decide to become an Archon.
Ooh,
Some juicy
rips.
hits. A lot of the Terran units are kind of disjointed.
Yeah,
we
he's
had
trying
some
to get
whole
those
army
disruptors,
hockeying right
but he
there
can't.
from the Terran player too. And what was previously a
Competitive.
massive
Stay
supply
away from
advantage
that
for
ever
Future
since I attempted
is
to play
dwindling now.
Dawn of War.
He still can
40K.
replace some of these units.
Yeah.
Rather than going into Liberators though, he's
I
in a
would
bit
say
of a hurry,
just,
so he
you
is
know,
going back to just the good old
Watch some
good
things
old.
that I do.
But
Find
this is
some
not
builds
gonna
that
be
you
a
like
fight
to
that
do,
becomes
and
any easier. Really, the only way
you
you
know,
can
play
make
it like a
this easier is
magician.
by
Do
microing
do
better.
some
And that is not
tricks
something that is
and cheese.
particularly straightforward. Future though is still dealing with only a part of the Protoss army here. Zealot gets caught there as well inside of the Purification Nova. Protoss army here is kind of disjointed. I would love to see them grouping back up together. Nicely done here by Geralt. Very nicely done. Yep,
doing
he's gonna
magic
build up another
tricks or
Nexus here on the
doing,
left side of the map. And I think this is exactly
you know,
the type
bike
of game that
tricks.
Future wants to avoid. It's not that he's incapable of playing it. It's just that it's way harder. And it's clear to me that Geralt is more practiced in it. GG.
Damn.
And that means it all comes down to
Last
this.
game.
Final game in this best of 7 finals takes place on the map Leylands. Geralt,
Put
looking
over
around the
200
map,
hours into that
you can see the
game,
path
and I
that his
thought
probe took on the mini-map,
he knew how
making
to
sure that
play
there's
with
no
his
hidden structures on his side.
guy
Ultimately,
and
the
kill
easiest way
half
to
of
scout
my
a Terran is
squad
by
camp
going across the map
with one guy.
and seeing the
Yeah, that
barracks inside of the main base.
StarCraft on the highest level can be a little annoying as well.
Just give him the
You
low
think you're
ground.
good,
You
and
wanna
then
see the CC, don't you?
There's somebody that's more optimal.
Yeah,
And you're
okay,
like,
cool,
oh
thank
shit, I
God.
got a lot to
It
learn.
means that Future is
It's
not
a high
cheesing, and he's
ceiling
not
StarCraft.
with
So you either
a proxy on the other side.
try to be very competitive and
that
a high
will,
ceiling,
that will probably,
or
at the
you
very
get-
least, in my mind,
or you play it
suit
and have
Geralt
fun and get
just
creative.
fine. If Geralt can force
And
this
go
game
for
to
the
be
adventures. I go
somewhat
for the
normal,
adventures.
I think he's the favorite. However, if Future can throw the opponent off, it is going to be tough. Then again, Geralt, he wasn't like a 30 supply, 40 supply deficit.
I played
at some
so
point in the
bad, I thought
previous
he
game.
thought I was trolling
And
him.
slowly but surely
He was
wiggled his
mad
way
at
out
me
of
for
that.
not being good.
Must be a little bit worrisome as well. For
That's
Future.
sad.
The
Damn.
wins from Future so far in this series,
Yeah,
they have
there's gonna
been
be
for
assholes like
Jesus.
that
not that long
even
ago,
they
this
don't know how to
series was
win.
3-1.
Even if they're winning, they're still,
What do you do now?
you know, dicks. Don't get
I
it.
mean, one cheese for all the marbles is always scary. It's a lot less scary to go for a push. Oh, jeez. It's a lot less scary to go for an
Yeah.
all-in in game number 1 than it is
Sticks
in a game
and
number
stones,
7.
baby.
We're still, however, going to build a starport on the other side of the map.
Oh, Hellions.
Barracks on the low ground, or sorry,
He did that
command
last
center on
game.
the low ground.
Opened
This
up
is
with
going
like
to
a
be
Hellion play.
pretty- Like, it's not a very hard cheese, you know? Like, this is going to be a pretty soft cheese. Not a very American cheese, maybe a little
Very
bit more like a
flaccid
French cheese instead. It smells funny. Yeah, and at this point, Geralt already has seen a bunch of Hellions drive around. Like, hey, we're definitely not going inside of a private jet. Don't worry about us. We're just
private
going,
jet.
you know, we're just, don't worry about us.
Yeah,
Geralt actually not checking
Future
for it,
came
though. I feel
back
like
with
it's
the
really
Hellion,
obvious. But
so
maybe
he
it's
doesn't
because I
show
know.
where he's going.
Maybe Future is just a
He doesn't
great
want to
actor.
get caught. But he's gonna
Wants
go
to send
over.
those
There's a
Hellions
medevac
so bad
over.
towards the top left, but
Yeah, he's trying to hide it.
Hellion production continues. Is a little weird. Generally, you don't see more than 4 Hellions at most.
Oh,
in
he's
this
not
matchup.
gonna.
So yeah, Geralt decides to wall himself in fully at the front. Warpins in the main. Now, Hellions are great at killing tropes, not so good at killing structures. So I like this wall off here from Geralt a lot. Yep, he sees the Liberator right now coming in. By the way, we don't even have a medevac. I thought we were going to go for a medevac of some sort. Not even a case.
Someone knocked
Stalker
at the
can just walk
door
away.
and I needed to get
Oh, your big
launcher
toe is in the
and
range,
not
dude.
play
Careful.
well enough for it to be worth my time.
Stalkers have very large toes. When you think about it, their entire leg is a toe.
Yeah. It's
Anyway.
StarCraft. You gotta just take it as
Desperately
an
trying to deal
adventure.
damage. I thought we were going to go for a medevac drop with Hellions. That's really the only thing that made sense here. Now all these Hellions are kind of a waste. And if you look at the worker count right now and you look at the upgrades, there's not really much going here for future. These units have not been worth their while at all.
Ooh, gets one.
Unless they sneak into the base, I'm a little afraid future just wasted like 600 minerals. Geralt is going to be using that for this instead. 500 minerals have been spent on this so far, and I think it's going to be good enough. I'm still a little afraid, though, that the units sneak in, but we have a couple of gatekeepers here. Should be easy.
Nope. Thou shalt not pass.
Okay. Yeah, and the Liberators have also not achieved much. Starport flying all the way back home, making the flight of shame. Engineering bay coming up. +1. We got to go for the stim pack and then probably combat shields right over here. Bam. Nice. Okay. Tech lab coming up inside of the main base 2 on the factory.
Observers
so the
here.
production will likely begin. And I'm assuming we'll see a reactor here on the starport. Yes, to go into the double medevac. This is now forcing the game, though, to go slower, right? Like, this is changing the entire pacing of the match. And I think in a game like this, when you've had a pretty rough start, you can't really do an SCV pool. And when you can't really do an SCV pool, you have to play straight up macro. And straight up macro is really tough unless you are Clem or Björn or Maren or whoever. But I've got a feeling that this is not the game that Future had in his
That
mind.
was earlier yesterday. Was it? No, today.
Back to back to back.
Today somebody said I had to
Different
go.
levels of cheese. Some of
That
them
was
more
beating
cheesy
them,
than
and
others, but
the
none
guy
of them have
literally
worked
said I gotta go.
And now Geralt gets to do what he does best. He gets to play a macro game. Charge coming up. Colossus with range.
Hit me with the
We
I
have a
gotta
forge
go.
Here building up. We'll probably see a Templar Archives in a moment.
Sorry, I gotta go. I
Obviously,
think is
there's
what he
still
said.
firepower though in this
But you
Protoss
liar.
army. And he's gonna try, or in his
He was
Terran
getting-
army rather, he's gonna try and see if he can deal some
He
damage.
was
with
getting
it
some
right
bad
now.
shape. That's for
This
sure.
is before the +1 upgrade is done, but with Stimpack and combat shields. Charge, however, is lined up well. Geralt is already thinking about making a 4th Nexus, but he really needs to get some units
Ooh,
out
Colossus
to
are here.
actually defend against this. Nice Stalker micro. There's the Zealots
But the
coming up.
Liberators this time.
Always a difficult position, though, especially if you plug the siege tanks like behind the rocks. It's difficult for Terran to really get a reach here, right? Like the Protoss units have a difficult time closing it. Still, Future is going to try and see if he can just snipe the Nexus with it. Bunch of Zealots going around the site. They really want to charge on the siege tanks. Maybe slice up some of the reinforcements. I mean, those Liberators from the early game, they didn't really do much at the time. But what about this? Hellions also didn't really help out too much against the early game, well, rope count, but still putting in some work, keeping the tanks alive and killing the
kept it
Zealots. Siege
alive.
tank
Wow.
survives with literally 7 HP, and that means it's at the end of this Nexus. Now, a new base is coming up at the bottom of the map already. At least the bottom of
Yeah,
Geralt's base
some people
is here.
don't know how to, yeah, they're so embarrassed that they have to try to insult you just to get some type
itself,
of
but he sees the long distance mining.
some type
That gives him all the
of
information that he
revenge.
needs. Okay. Geralt getting a little unlucky on that one tank, I think, but still.
I had a friend that I always,
nicely executed push
you know,
here
we
by
would
Future.
bag on each other, but somehow he would always use the same bag I did on me. I'm like, I already did that
Decides
bag.
to
Well,
just
you can't
back off
use
for
you
now.
can't
He
use
goes
my
into the
bag
third
against
command
me.
Center again.
Just-
2
just like,
games, but a third
gotta come up
CC
with your own
back to
shit.
back? Ay, ay, ay. We're once more coming up on like a 25-ish supply advantage. Difficult for Terran to really get a lot of well, pull out of, I guess. Especially with this many Colossi and a Disruptor joining in too. It's not easy. It is very easy to overextend. Vikings trying to get a free shot. They do get a free volley right there on one of the Colossi. And now the Protoss army is very disjointed. Future trying to see if he can cut the head off the snake here by getting the third
Trying to get
Nexus.
that cloth.
Colossus lives because of the shield battery.
The Liberators put in some work. Liberators are whooping ass right now.
Over here. Disruptors have already used up their Nova, but Future has got enough stuff.
Ooh,
okay,
took a good splash.
Not an ideal one, as he does lose a lot of units. He's trying to reset up this spot though, moving it a little bit closer towards the natural.
Ooh, take down a Colossus.
Marines move on over
that base over there.
Because these probes are looking very juicy. Future hasn't seen them though, but he must realize that there are quite a few of them now. Okay, there we go. Going after the Nexus itself is also quite nice. New base coming up again here for Geralt, who seems to have a difficult time holding on to a third. Probes get recalled away, by the way, so they're now inside of the main. At least he maintained some of the worker count lead, but third command center right now landed on the low ground. We have a Ghost Academy coming up too, which is fantastic, especially against Archons. It's really nice as well against clumped up Zealots. Obviously High Templar as well are something to be taken into consideration, but not really the main damage dealers in this particular Protoss army. He's being very conservative though with this Nexus snipe. Yeah, you can see that he's a little indecisive too with some of the army movement. I think that might be a little bit of full army hotkey.
They're all trying to like sandwich him.
Some grand final jitters coming in.
This is it. Can't make a mistake.
Vulnerability of Protoss. It's very difficult for Protoss to try and actually deal with these type of attacks. Later on in the game, I think they're slightly favored. Especially when Protoss gets up to like 4 or 5 bases. That's when the game becomes really difficult for Terran. But at this point, the Terran army tends to be a little bit scarier, assuming the units are sieged up. Both the Liberators and the tanks need to be set up in position. Vikings going in. Free shot on the Colossus. Not bad. 1 Viking dice. Zealots going to the bottom of the map, trying to see if they can put in some counterattack damage. And this third base here from the Terran is looking very vulnerable. Okay.
Ooh, nice
right
knife.
with the Stalkers and then a Disruptor, but a Stalker dies too. 2 Stalkers, I think, actually died there. Zealots, though, have completed the job of denying the third base. I don't think you can really push in there without losing all of the Zealots. Still, the Marauder count over here is very high.
Oh, Terran's looking good.
Much better.
You gotta pull draws, gotta pull back. Gotta get more charge lots.
And I think we're gonna try and maybe make an alternative one again. Now, obviously, this is only maintainable for so long. Protoss needs this base at some point because now we're 12 minutes in. The main is starting to dry up. Even the natural will be running pretty low.
You think Protoss... Yeah, there's a slim chance that Protoss... Oh, well, he lost the third. He lost the Colossus.
But not fast enough as the Colossi are dipping. And,
huge,
well,
yeah.
A new base once more coming up. I think this is starting to become a little bit too tiresome right now for Geralt. He's desperately trying to hold.
Ooh, almost lost that Colossus.
He just cannot really find an engagement where he is favored. Now the supply count is a 50 supply lead for Future. We're still like 1 purification away from this being a disaster for Terran.
Ooh, the Colossus goes down.
Back up, we do have a decent storm
There's
there on
Liberators still.
Units. Oh, a really good secondary storm over there too.
Those Liberators still put in some work.
Oh. Committing. He kills a bunch of the siege tanks and all of the Liberators as well. And that means that Future may just have to continue, well, without the siege unit. And that's difficult. Yeah, it might be better to just go home. He saves the 1 landed Viking there with the medevac. But I think it might be better here to go home.
Yeah, regroup.
Need some of those siege units to really continue to fight. Okay, and that's giving Geralt just a little bit of time to breathe. He's using the time to get more High Templar going. Makes another Archon, bunch of additional Zealots. He's hoping for a storm from the high ground.
When they're nice people.
By Future, who splits off one of the tanks there unsieged, using the medevacs for high ground vision. He saw that this was coming in. Lucky Storm not going to be an option this time around. I would have loved to see those Zealots still on the other side of the map. I think Geralt probably threw them into a bunch of the tanks and the units over here. Man, Zealot pressure here is absolutely pivotal. It's so important. Without the Zealots, it means that Terran just gets way more income despite being 10 workers behind. He's using most of the orbital energy here on scans, so he doesn't really have any mule mining. Can we have another Storm or two? No, EMPs instead. We do have a Storm, but it doesn't hit anything.
We're losing a lot of tier 2 units.
Future trying to play this
tier
safely.
1 units, technically.
A matter of fact, drop into the main base is a great option right now for Terran too. He might just be able to, though, to take the fight straight up. Geralt getting a little greedy now. Double the Disruptor roll by and a lot of Storms as well, just desperately hoping for the lucky hit.
Ooh, Archons, but the Archons aren't doing very good.
Yeah,
Storms are doing
these
better.
Storms are painful, but not that big of a deal. The Protoss army
gonna die.
is looking mighty flimsy. Nice dodge right there on that Purification Nova. The Prism does save it. Ooh, that Nova could have been very big. Geralt just barely not microing it right there in the last possible second.
This is a VOD? Yeah, this is Loco's
I think Future is doing it.
video.
Yep, I think Future is doing it.
The purpose of StarCraft is killing your opponent.
This is a difficult last game of the series. But
nice folks,
at this point, he is so far ahead that he can, well, pretty much just
friend, not an enemy,
and hope for the best. There's still a lot of splash damage in this Protoss army, though, so
many
he's
friends to
respecting
make
it properly. And there is still this base at the bottom that he doesn't know about. The Prism really putting in so much value. Still, the siege tanks are inching closer.
He's gonna go over there.
He's
He's gonna see it.
Now he finds this mineral line over here.
That's gonna be bad for Geralt because Geralt needs that third.
We don't have any money anymore in the main base. The mineral field.
Because Future already has a third.
Expansion only has a tiny little bit of mining remaining. In the meantime, a fourth command center is in the oven for Future. And I think this is getting to a point, where Protoss needs to put all of their eggs in one basket, hope for one final Hail Mary play, but that is not going to be enough. A Storm or two, I mean, we can dance in the rain at this point. It's fine, dude. The stormy weather, I mean, it's no longer scary. Future, though, is respecting it, right? You don't want to throw from this spot. It's so easy to throw, but I think he can just push in. Medifacts are entirely without energy. That does mean that the Novas can actually, well, one-shot every single one of these units. Future decides to snipe the Nexus and back off. You know what? I don't mind this. You've been playing with a blood pressure that's a little too high for the better part of 10 minutes.
For 14 Czar.
Maybe give yourself a moment to let your
Medifacts regens. Like all the good stuff. A lot of good stuff in here.
Some energy, let your HP return on the Marines and the Marauders, and secure the fourth base and go again in a moment. You obviously don't want to give Protoss too much time, but you can always max out and go. One thing that we don't have in this Terran army is an armory, so he doesn't have the 2-2 research. If I want to be critical here, that would be it.
My trophies right there.
No 2-2.
Those are my trophies after I kill them.
A little bit of a timer on you, but I mean the supply count is.
Yeah, I always save my trophies.
Yeah, pretty apparent. Geralt trying his best with the small amount of units that he's got.
Damn, Geralt.
He's probably wondering what
Future got that fourth.
Right, like, why did he just let his foot off the gas for so long? Well, what exactly can Protoss do at this point? Income advantage is going to be heavily in favor of the Terran. Army advantage is going to be heavily in favor of the Terran. Even the trade advantage here, the units lost heavily in favor of the Terran.
I gotta go to sleep after this game. But when I wake up, we're going to play some ladder.
This is when we're fishing for lucky disruptors.
Ooh, nice pickup.
Yeah, we're fishing to maybe try and kill the entirety of the army there. What about a good little...
Ooh, close.
Nicely done there by Future. Yeah, we have one lonely storm drop. But this is Geralt scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Oh, it has a cancel.
Geralt needs about 17 lucky hits.
I'm gonna hit him before they even let. Yeah.
He's gonna get 0. He is gonna get absolutely nothing. And I think this is the final stand of the Protoss. There's not enough production here to really keep it all
the Colossus
going.
is
Only
gone.
like 3 Zealots remain out of everything that Protoss has had. Geralt hoping for the storm of a lifetime, and he gets pretty good damage done, but not enough to even kill any of these units. GG and Grets.
Future
Yes,
wins.
right there, and that
Good old Loco. Alright, guys. I'll be back in a few hours. Let me get some rest. I'll come back. We'll do some ladder. Till next time. I'll be back in probably in 4 hours. Alright, guys. Thomas, Demented ID, what was it? Setland, Acronym. Acronym, drive safe. I'll be on while you're probably driving. Thanks, Thomas, and good morning. Is today the day, Thomas? Was it today or yesterday? Today? You getting married? Have a good night, Demented. Alright, well, you guys have a great weekend. I'll be on soon. Oh, you're in the UK. Oh, okay, there's some... Who was it? Then it's not Thomas, it's another... Someone's getting married today or tomorrow. One of my viewers. What was it? I'll remember when he types.